Wednesday night. Thursday, sunny, 73 for the high Thursday afternoon. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
The Annie Fry Show is sponsored by Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation. Don't freeze as it gets colder. If your furnace isn't working, Air Comfort Service can get you back in your comfort zone fast with a service call for only $99. Get your furnace serviced. Visit aircomfortservice.com.
Annie Fry, Ryan Wiggins, Brad Ray.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
For goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Fry Show on 97.1 FM Talk.
Well, it's Tuesday, October 7th, and I think we all remember October 7th as something really tragic. October 7th truly was I think it was per capita worse in Israel than 9/11 was for the United States.
Yeah, it was barely, but I think it was because it was about 1,200 people.
How'd you consume, because October 7th, wasn't that like a Friday night into a Saturday?
Yeah, it was. I was in the hospital. I had a flare up with my cystic fibrosis stuff, and I had to go in for IV antibiotics over a weekend, and it just happened to be on October 7th, 2023. And I don't know if you've ever been in the hospital for any extended period of time, but you just sit there with nothing to do. I brought my laptop.
You were a captive audience.
I was watching the whole thing unfold live.
On the news?
On the news, yeah. And I was flipping back and forth between all the stations, CNN, MSNBC, Fox, just to get a view of what was going on. So I remember that day very, very vividly because I was watching the whole thing.
I was at a volleyball tournament out of town, and we were hoping to do well at this tournament. We didn't end up doing well at the tournament, but we were hoping to do well at the tournament. And I'm, as we all are here, at least in this show, when I go away, I still have the same news alerts and still have the same information coming to me. And all of a sudden, some of the stuff that came to me, a lot of times I'll be like, good to know that happened, read the headline, moving on. But the events of October 7th were so unbelievable that I ended up spending pretty much every minute that we weren't at the gym in my hotel room by myself. Like, the kids and the rest of the family went elsewhere, and I was just watching this in absolute shock. And I remember it was really kind of a stark moment for me personally, because while the volleyball tournament wasn't going the way we had hoped it would gone, the mood of the group of people was not high. And it, that 100% would have been right there with them if I wouldn't have been paying attention to the news. So in no way, shape, or form judgment on anybody. It was just perspective for me that I was watching and consuming these unbelievable atrocities that Hamas perpetrated on Israel and just people who were just living in their house that day. And I was so burdened and weighed down by what I was learning had happened that I really kind of didn't care about volleyball, like the perspective that is served up in a moment like that. Clarity. It was a heavy moment to take in. And, I don't have family or friends directly that are over there. I know people who did. And I contacted them and it's like, is this as bad as they're saying it is? And the response was, no, it's worse. And we're 2 years away from that now. And the president, with other countries, are trying to negotiate some sort of peace right now between these two entities. I just want to make sure that we take a moment and mark that event in history and understand and speak out loud that it actually did happen, because I think it's a very important thing to do that.
And I just want to add really quick too, those deaths, because anytime I'm clicking on news stories right now, today being the two-year anniversary, they're all like, well, here's what Israel's experienced, but here's what Gaza's experienced. Okay, fine. But remember that day there was no war happening. This was unprovoked. And that those deaths, those murders committed by Hamas on Israel were gruesome.
I mean, the most horrific kind of movie twisted type of thing that you've seen, these were worse than that.
They were
and they were
awful.
real.
And they were not soldiers. These were just anybody they could find to just kill and kill them gruesomely.
Yeah. Do you think that we should have predicted 2 years later that we'd be having, all these sorts of super leftist protests in the United States, like Free Palestine? Like, it's so disgusting to see that in our country that this. I'm going to go deep here for a second. To see in our country, to be able to look at what happened on October 7th and know with certainty what happened. There are videos. They videoed it. There are videos. I had the opportunity at one point to see the video that had been circulated for journalists and stuff, and I was like, absolutely not interested in seeing that. I trust the people who are seeing this. My heart can't handle that. My soul can't see that. I know the things that they have said that have happened. I believe them, and to look 2 years later to see. Just like, I don't know, I'm this might be couching it too much, but like the stupidity of the protests latching on to this Free Palestine thing, and to see the conglomeration of people they've assembled to protest these things. This is what we're going to talk about a little bit later. It's almost like it's funded. It's almost like, we've got a cause. It goes against common sense, because the deterioration of common sense in every shape and form seems to have been the goal for the last 10 years. We have to upend, uproot, and destroy everything that people understand to be true so we can build something new.
Yeah. Planned, coordinated, mass murder by a people on another people purely because of who they are, what they believe. I will say, to answer your question, can you believe that there are people that actually protest in the name of Palestine? At the time, so we were reporting on this, of course. I was out of the hospital, I think, that next Monday. So we were reporting on it right away. You guys were on it that day. Because I think it was a Saturday. I think it was a Saturday.
I think it was a Friday into a Saturday.
Because different times.
Yes.
But we were reporting on it, and I remember, saying either that week or the week after, what's going to happen here is that there will be, because it's happened over and over and over throughout history, even modern history, there will be a period of time here, which I said would be about 2-3 months max, where the international community would say to Israel, we have compassion for you. We're on your side. Do what you need to do here. And then it would end. And I don't know exactly what the timeline was, but I would guess that was pretty accurate. That pretty soon after that, you had this moment of, okay, this was terrible. We can't jump on the side of Hamas right away. But after 2-3 months, then you have people doing that. And they look for any way that they can, but they were doing it pretty quick.
I have some friends of mine who know that I don't have a personal, I don't have people directly in my personal life who are Orthodox Jews or who go between, a lot of Jewish people have dual citizenship. They spend time in Israel. They spend time in the United States. I have a few people in my life, and I've told them, I don't know a whole lot about your culture, and I would like to know. And they're like, I always said to them, if I ever ask you a question that is a stupid question or could be taken in a way that may be disrespectful, please know that I don't know that I'm doing it and correct me. Tell me, give me context, because I want to learn about it. I've learned so much from those friends of mine, and especially since October 7th. But it was, as that weekend was unfolding, I made some comments like, I hope Israel understands how strong of an ally America is, and I hope America understands that as well. And the response from those individuals in my life who are super plugged into the politics of both places said, this is going to fade so fast.
Yeah.
Public sentiment on support for Israel is going to fade so fast. And, I'm looking inside the conservative movement, and there are certainly like the Candace Owens of the world and some other people who maybe are a little bit less prominent. I think Tucker Carlson's name is thrown around in the questioning of Israel or whatever. I don't know. I'm not smart enough to parse these things. I'm going to talk to Jim Talent about it at 1 o'clock. Former senator from Missouri, Jim Talent. I'm going to discuss with him, why is it that we would have people on the right side of the aisle be split on this issue? Senator Talent, what do you know? What do you want us to know? Because I trust him. I trust his input. I trust the fact that he knows some things that I don't. Mostly all the things that I don't. So Senator Talent will be with us at 1 o'clock, and we will talk about it. I want to talk about Senator Josh Hawley on Capitol Hill today in a hearing with Pam Bondi. And this wiretapping story, boy, we're going to get to that. I can't believe what was revealed yesterday about the Jack Smith surveillance of United States senators. That discussion we're going to have and get to Hawley's testimony because it's must-hear stuff. When we come back, Kush Desai, who is the Deputy White House Press Secretary, is going to join us, and we're going to talk about the government shutdown, and we're going to talk about this White House's commitment to instill safety and security, yes, even in my home state of Illinois. Stick around. Kush Desai with us in just a couple minutes.
I'll hang from your lips instead of the gallows of heartache that hang from the back.
HomeshieldFoundationRepairs.com is the website. Please consider hiring Matt Hayes to handle your foundational issues. If you have experienced wetness in your basement, if when the rain comes in, you're always thinking like, gosh, once we get to this much rain, it's going to be in the basement. There is an anxiety that comes with having had a wet basement, that anytime you get one of those gully washer storms that comes through, you just know that you're going to be in your basement and you're going to be trying to do everything you can to keep it from ruining the stuff that you've got down there. Or maybe you have that section of your basement that you just don't put anything because it gets wet and you can't store stuff down there. Stop that problem in its tracks by hiring Home Shield Foundation Repair and Matt Hayes. Call them at 314-227-9636. 314-227-9636. Call Home Shield Foundation Repair. Tell them Annie sent you from 97.1 and have him come out and check out the problem before any dollars are even talked about. That's how you know he's going to fix the problem exactly where it is. 314-227-9636. HomeshieldFoundationRepairs.com.
You hear that? That's the sound of your business losing money. Legacy phone systems weren't built for today's teams. Quo, formerly OpenPhone, gives your business a smarter way to stay connected. Quo lets you manage calls, texts, voicemail, and contacts all in one place so that you can deliver a seamless customer experience from ring to... Need to take calls on the go? Quo automatically transcribes, summarizes, and highlights next steps from every call, so you never miss a detail. Need insight into what closes a sale? With Quo's AI call tags, you can instantly spot key topics like objections or pricing questions and use those insights to level up every customer interaction. And yes, you can bring your existing number with you for free. Keep your team in sync and your customers happy with Quo. Quo. No missed calls, no missed customers. Try Quo for free at quo.com/free and get 20% off your first 6 months. That's quo.com/free. QUO.com/free.
Sponsored by Progressive. We make the claims process easy so you can get back on the road in no time. It's why over 43 million drivers trust Progressive. See for yourself at progressive.com.
This is the Annie Fry Show on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Tumble out of bed and I stumble to the kitchen, pour myself a cup of ambition and yawn and stretch and try to come to life. Jump in the shower and the blood starts pumping. Out on the streets, the traffic starts jumping with folks like me on the job from 9 to 5.
Fired several shots striking an individual. That individual, as you said, was armed with a semi-automatic weapon. So that was 2 from a couple of days ago. Today, more of the same. Another semi-automatic weapon in the car of an individual that tried to box in a Border Patrol agent. Sean, we've seen more weapons here in Chicago in a month than we did in Los Angeles over a 4-month period. Definitely something going on here in Chicago.
Well, yeah, we're here in St. Louis, of course, but you know that my home state is Illinois. I live across the river, and the spotlight that Illinois is, I'm not going to use the word enjoying on a national stage. We're showing all of our scars and our bad spots right now in this national conversation, and watching our governor and watching the elected officials, of course, the mayor of Chicago, just be absolutely allergic to the idea that, first and foremost, we do have a crime problem in the state of Illinois. We have an immigration problem in the state of Illinois, but mostly that Democrats have invited that problem into the state of Illinois, and they are willing to protect it over the citizens and the taxpayers. It's incredibly frustrating, and I, for one, am glad, as an Illinois resident, that this White House is not letting Illinois go by the wayside. Let's speak with the White House. Of course, the Deputy White House Press Secretary, Kush Desai, joins us once again. Thank you so much for the time today. It's a pleasure to have you back.
Thanks for having me on again.
So give me your thoughts on why is the White House, of all places, it seems like we're kind of like the liberal flyover zone here. We've got a very liberal state. J.B. Pritzker is as progressive can get. Why is it important for President Trump to not look over Chicago and the state of Illinois in his effort to make America safe again?
Sure. Look, I mean, President Trump is not the president of Red America. He's the president of the United States of America, and that includes Illinois. And when you have a city that's as historic and as cherished of at least a former gem like Chicago, you know, the second city of America, the Windy City, that's just being plagued by violent crime and lawlessness, it's the president's responsibility to do something about it. And that's what this president is doing. You know, he's committed to safeguarding our country and making sure our communities are the best and safe as they possibly could be for American citizens.
We're speaking with Kush Desai, the Deputy White House Press Secretary. We see a lot of, legal response from the state of Illinois, the Attorney General looking to push back and do everything they can to stop the president, the administration's actions to allow ICE to go in and do ICE's job and to do it safely without being threatened by the people who are being stoked by the governor and by the mayor there. Is the White House up for the legal battle that is upon them to make sure they can continue to do the work they need to do in the state of Illinois?
Absolutely. Look, I mean, there's people often say when you don't have the law, you argue the facts, and when you don't have the facts, you argue the law. And here's a situation where we have both the law and the facts on our side. The facts are simple, and it's that the Democrats have run Chicago into the ground. They've taken this cherished city and have allowed illegal aliens and criminals to run amok and endanger everyday, law-abiding American citizens. And the law here is very clear that we have we have the authority here to step in and do something about clear danger being posed to American citizens.
When you listen to the governor's words, when you listen to the mayor of Chicago's words, creating ICE-free zones, I mean, that's really what the state of Illinois has been dealing with for quite some time. An ICE-free zone is kind of like a sanctuary city, a sanctuary state. They're determining who they're prioritizing, and they're trying to push the law out of the way for what appears to me to be political gains for those elected officials, not for the taxpayers, not for the citizens of the state of Illinois. What is the White House hearing from the actual people who live in these communities? Do they feel emboldened by the communities wanting the presence of the administration's efforts through law enforcement? What are the people saying to the White House?
Absolutely. Every day we are hearing testimonials from Chicago residents who are thankful that finally we have a president, that they have a president who's willing to do something about a clear case of anarchy and crime in their beloved home city. When you mentioned about the Chicago mayor declaring Chicago an ICE-free zone, I mean, think of how crazy it is. I mean, the federal government, the president of the United States, is basically offering to use federal resources to clean up a problem of Chicago's and Illinois' own making. When they had these sanctuary city policies and let in unvetted criminal illegal aliens flood into the city and wreak havoc on their citizens, they should be pleading with the federal government to say, please come in and please help us deal with this problem. And instead, these Democrats are playing games where they're saying, we have Trump derangement syndrome. We don't want you to come in and take, criminals who are, many of them have committed violent crime, many of them committed crimes against children. I mean, think of that, children. We're trying to help Chicago and Illinois take these people off their streets, and Chicago and Illinois Democrats are instead playing politics here.
We're speaking with Deputy White House Press Secretary Kush Desai. You can follow him on X at Kush Desai 47. If the White House is listening to the people of Chicago, the people of Illinois who want the presence of law and order back in their state and back in their city, who are Governor J.B. Pritzker and Mayor Brandon Johnson listening to?
They're listening to the same delusional and insane radical activists that their fellow Democrats here in Washington, D.C. are listening to. The same Democrats who in Washington, D.C. decided to shut down the federal government to die on the hill of giving illegal immigrants free health care. This seems to be some sort of, bizarre obsession that Democrats have, where they want to put illegal immigrants and legal aliens over you American citizens. And so there seems to be this bizarre pathology affecting this entire party, and it's driven by, I think, radicals and activists who, are the ones who are running this party now, are the ones voting in their primaries and who are dominating their party institutions.
Kush, do you feel as though the protesting against ICE, the people that are showing up and causing quite a ruckus, riot, in fact, in the Chicago area, is this organic out of the communities? Do you feel as though the people who are showing up and making such a chaotic environment surrounding ICE doing their job there to enforce immigration law, do these people are they from the communities and they decided, no, this isn't going to happen in my community? Are they being funded from somewhere else? Are they being gathered, community organized from elsewhere?
Look, I mean, we've seen a clear track record where you have these radical, groups who are outside groups who are organizing and agitating these sort of protests. I think it's something that we need to and we are looking into. But to answer your question, absolutely not. I mean, every time when you look at the composition of these protesters, it is absolutely not the people in these communities who are the main beneficiaries of the president's law enforcement action. It's people who are coming in oftentimes from, wealthy Democrat suburbs or other wealthy areas who are just, who kind of come in, do their little protest to get their street theater going. And then, when night falls, they leave. And it's the everyday people who actually live in those communities who have to deal with the consequences of this. And so the sort of these astroturf campaigns against common sense, law enforcement, it's something that's definitely not organic. And it's not something that's coming from the people who, the Democrats' policies are actually harming every day.
Yeah, I think a lot of Americans are very interested to know where they're funded from. And I know that the White House is equally interested, if not more, in that as well. You mentioned the government shutdown. You're saying that the people that are have the ear of the J.B. Pritzkers of the world, the Brandon Johnson of the world, are the same people who want to have this government shut down. The White House, I hear them say they want the government to reopen. They want Democrats to take action to reopen the government. Does the White House feel as though this government shutdown could last some amount of time, or do they think there would be a quick resolution?
Well, again, that's a question for the Democrats, who, again, are prioritizing illegal immigrants over American citizens. And so, the president's position is very clear. We support passing a clean continuing resolution, the same continuing resolution or funding bill that Democrats voted for 13 times under the previous administration, under Joe Biden, and once before during this administration. It's not like we're trying to get Democrats to vote for a bill with a bunch of Easter eggs to fund things that only Republicans want. It's just a clean bill, and then we can have the various policies, discussions, and debates that Democrats are claiming they want to have. But instead, they're basically holding the country hostage to try and ram through $200 billion for free health care for illegal immigrants. And it's the American people, the American citizens, who are the ones who have to pay the cost of this.
Yeah, I was going to say, does the White House understand that there are, we took a poll of our audience. We're a Fox News radio affiliate. We have a conservative audience, and we wanted to know what percentage of our audience was affected by the government shutdown. 12% said that they were, out of around 300 votes in one day. 12% is not a majority, but that 12% that are affected could be significantly affected by this. Does the White House understand that they're good and loyal people trying to come to work, trying to do the job that they have with the federal government, that there's real, human interest at stake with this government shutdown?
Absolutely. And look, that 12%, that's the number that's being affected, that of the folks who are being affected right now or so far. That number is only going to grow as Democrats keep dragging this out, again, to push free health care for illegal immigrants. When you look at the idea, the fact that the Women and Infants Children Program, a program that provides nutrition assistance to struggling mothers and children, that program is due to run out of allocated money. We're looking at issues where, government data that informs economic policy that determines, if the Federal Reserve will cut interest rates, those government operations are no longer operational. So the Fed is flying blind right now. The markets are flying blind. So we're looking at a situation where we are losing $15 billion in economic activity every week this shutdown lasts. And we're looking at a range of other issues with government programs and government statistics that are only going to snowball from here. And so that 12% is going to only keep growing and growing and growing every day. These Democrats keep holding our government hostage.
Well, we look forward to seeing what can happen next year with the government shutdown. We do want the government to reopen, but I think that the Republicans and conservatives that I talk to are in lockstep with those in elected positions that say, absolutely, we're not going to cave to these Democrats' demands. It doesn't seem as though the Democrats have really thought this one through. It doesn't look like they have an exit strategy at this point. Do you anticipate one, or are they just going to have to completely cave and go back on what their demands have been?
No, I think they're going to have to acknowledge that, common sense needs to prevail here. And common sense is we need to reopen this government and not shut it down to push through free healthcare for illegal immigrants. And so it's really a matter, the exit strategy for them is just to say, you know what, we've regained our common sense. And so far they seem to be avoiding doing that.
Kush Desai, your voice is very valued here on our show. Thank you for the time. We appreciate you. We'd love to have you back soon.
For sure. Thanks for having me on.
You're welcome. Bye-bye. Kush Desai, Deputy White House Press Secretary on X at Kush Desai 47. He had all the right answers, I think.
Yep. 100%.
What? Why are you looking at me like that?
Well, the last question, I think, was one that was a little tougher question, which is, what happens now? What do Democrats give up now? Do they give up anything? Because right now they're just demanding mass spending. And his answer was, it was a good one, but it wasn't specific, but it was good. Well, they have to come back to some sort of common sense if there's going to be any sort of negotiation. And so far, we kind of talked about this yesterday too. The bigger picture would indicate that Republicans, their message has been just get it reopened so that we can talk about it. But the more I've dug into this, even in the last 24 hours, the more I think that what they're trying to do is just
Republicans or Democrats?
Republicans is just pass spending that mirrors the one big beautiful bill. So their policy was already done in that. Republicans. That's why they're not arguing for any sort of specific thing, because they're like, that's the thing. We already did that.
We passed it.
We did that. That's what we're trying to pass a budget for.
And when they passed it, it is worthy of note that they passed it through reconciliation, which is a simple majority in the Senate, which they could get without even having all the Republicans in the Senate vote. So Democrats did not vote for that, but they did vote. They did have to vote for, wasn't that one where Schumer did have to vote for like the suspension of to get past a filibuster? I'd have to go back and look at the details.
I think that was the previous budget.
The CR.
So that was before that.
To me, this is the cost. This is the classic elections have consequences. And if the Republicans cave in any way, shape, or form here, what the heck are you doing? What would you possibly be doing? Why would you possibly cave on this? You're just asking for everybody to tread water for a little longer on what was currently in place. And you're going to tell the Democrats, even if, because I believe I was trying to find the article quickly while I was also trying to listen to Kush Desai's interview there about President Trump said that he'd be willing to have discussions regarding healthcare costs. We heard yesterday, I think it was maybe from Ryan Schmelz, that the discussions on extending things or looking at it, it's not like the Republicans are trying to go into the appropriations bill process, which will have to be done by the end of the year. And they're saying, no, we're throwing the Affordable Care Act out completely. Like, that's not what's happening. And there is negotiation that can take place that the Republicans have said that they would be willing to do, which is where a lot of fiscal conservative Republicans like Ryan Wiggins are going to be like, we're spending too much money.
Yep.
Did you see how different that was to the communist voice?
That was a different voice. I appreciate that.
That's just for distinction purposes.
It was still stupid, but I do
not
appreciate
stupid.
the distinction.
What?
The
voice was stupid.
Yeah, there was a stupid voice. She's
That's why
making
I
it
was
sound
saying it like
stupid.
this. It's not realistic to think everybody's going to be like Red Paul.
Yeah.
That was Rand Paul's voice. It's not just like that was a clip.
Oh, that was that?
No. I mean, like, in principle, I agree with him. I agree with Tom Massey. It's just not workable.
Why would you back off of right now? Like you were saying, why would you back off? Because Trump has masterclass played this. One of the things he ran on was reducing the size of the federal government.
Yeah.
He's able to do that right now in a way that he hasn't been.
And what I'm telling you, I'm not advocating for this because I don't have the power to advocate and make anything. I don't manifest. I just talk. It's so lame. But he's going to do that. But he's not going to do it to the extent that satisfies the right-wingers of the world. Like, we should still spend less money, which means you still have to advocate to spend less money and keep that pressure on. But I'm just telling you right now, it's going to be near Christmas time. You're going to be happy and joyful, but then you're going to be Ryan Wiggins like, I want more milk and cookies and less government spending. That's exactly how you're going to be.
I want less milk and cookies and less spending.
You've never said you want less cookies.
I want free
or
cookies.
Milk. You like milk
I want
more
free
than
Obama
cookies.
phones.
This is taking a turn. Let's talk about the YouTube poll when we come back. Do you believe crimes of treason have been committed? It's a biggie. Yes or no? It's a simple yes or no. There's no in between. Annie Fry YouTube channel. Go vote. We'll be right back. It's American Mortgage and the Bagel Loan, 314-324-4440. 314-324-4440. Call Stewie, text Stewie, tell him Annie said hi. 314-324-4440. Also ask him about a bagel loan for you. What is a bagel loan? It's a money loan for a mortgage, for a new mortgage, for a mortgage refinance. And Stewart's American Mortgage is the only place that you can get a bagel loan. A bagel loan is special because it's a new mortgage that you're going to get or a mortgage refinance that you're going to get that comes with $0 in closing costs. So you go through the process, you get to that low rate locked in. Maybe if you're doing a mortgage refinance, you're taking some cash out because you're going to finally finish the basement. And when you go through that process at the end, sometimes there's thousands of dollars in closing costs that you have to deal with, but not with the bagel loan, not with Stewart's American Mortgage, not with my friend Stewie. 314-324-4440. 314-324-4440. Google the bagel loan, NMLS number 226715.
Why do the national tax resolution firms need the tiny fine print at the bottom of all their TV ads? Hi, this is Lance Story with the Lance Story Law Firm. You don't hear fast-talking disclaimers in our ads because the claims we make are 100% transparent. The Lance Story Law Firm primarily focuses on one thing, IRS problems, and we're regulated by the Bar Association, and we have a AAA rating with the Better Business Bureau. IRS issues are serious legal issues. The Lance Story Law Firm has helped thousands of clients navigate the best resolution plans, and we tell you up front exactly how much it'll cost. Tax resolution law is all we do. So before you send money to some out-of-town, high-pressure salesperson, give us a call at the Lance Story Law Firm, located right here in St. Louis. Call today to schedule your free consultation with me, 314-260-6120, or visit lance.drurylaw.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
If you need a new garage door, this could be your lucky day. Entries are now open for the $5,000 sweepstakes at Overhead Door Company of St. Louis. The winner will be chosen at random to receive $5,000 towards new garage doors, openers, or front entry doors of their choice. Deadline to enter is the end of the month to win the $5,000 sweepstakes with Overhead Door Company of St. Louis. Enter now at overheaddoorsstlouis.com. You can't win if you don't enter at overheaddoorsstlouis.com.
Hey, it's Mark Reardon. If you're nearing retirement or already retired, call my friends Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw with the Retirement Advisory Group. They'll show you how linking to the market is much safer than owning the market for your retirement savings. They're the official financial advisors of my show. Go to retirementkey.com.
Men, need a clinic that accepts all insurance, including Medicare? U.S. Men's Medical Center in St. Peters does. U.S. Men's helps men experiencing loss of energy, focus, concentration, and low libido. And they accept all insurance, even Medicare, for testosterone replacement therapy. Patients love the staff and the fact that, yes, I'm going to say it again, they accept all insurance, including Medicare. Feel better? Call U.S. Men's Medical Center at 636-244-5333.
The YouTube live chat poll today is a big one. Do you believe crimes of treason have been committed? Yes or no? I'm going to highlight a comment here. It's from Doug. He says, treason, yep. Not a, I'll use cleaned up language, not a darned thing will happen, though. So that's a different question, but that's a yes or no. That's still a yes to do you believe crimes of treason have been committed? Let us know what you think about this very big topic by logging on to YouTube, typing in Annie Fry. You will find today's date, and that is where you can leave a comment and vote on the poll. It is 12:38. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating, Air Conditioning, Electrical, and Plumbing.
It's time for a $98 furnace tune-up.
For details and a list of all station contest rules, visit www.971talk.com/rules. From Troy, Missouri to Troy, Illinois, 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
All right, Ryan, you wanted the song. Go ahead.
I know this song. I can't
Everybody
think of
knows
the lyrics.
this song. Uh-oh.
Oh, that's why I didn't remember, because they're just grunting.
Crazy in Love? She sang Uh-oh.
Is this Beyonce?
Oh, my gosh. This seems like an appropriate, because Beyonce has done a halftime show, right? So,
Yep.
do you remember that? Did you watch that one?
Yep.
What'd you think of that one?
Just the same as all of them. I don't give a rat's
Patoot.
patoot. You know what? Except for when they have somebody on that I really like Paul McCartney.
I was going to
like
say,
that one.
let me ask you that question. How could they get your attention?
Have somebody on that I really like to watch.
Who is somebody that you would really like to watch that anybody else would also really like to watch?
If you could somehow get Roger Waters and David Gilmour to reunite and make Pink Floyd again.
Are they alive?
They're both alive. They
Okay.
hate each other's guts. So if you somehow could get them on a stage, I think the world would pay attention and love it. And I think we all would be better for it.
Would there be harmony?
There might be. Yeah, Dark Side of the Moon really brought the world together.
Oh, I thought it was just like harmony. Is
And-
there harmony in Pink Floyd songs?
Yeah. I don't think there's a lot of. They don't do
The
like
pitch
a lot
of your
old,
voice makes me be a little skeptical.
Not a lot of old 50s harmony, but
So we know Bad Bunny is going to be the halftime show. He goes on SNL this weekend, and he speaks in Spanish for some amount of time. And at the end, this is what he says at the end of his monologue after speaking in Spanish. You've got 4 months to learn Spanish if you want to understand my lyrics at the Super Bowl. Well, apparently 50 Cent has jumped in to the conversation. And I'm thinking to myself, what does 50 Cent have to do with anything? And then I'm like, oh, no, wait. He was just in a Super Bowl halftime show when he was hanging upside down. And it was one of the best ones that I can remember recently. But also I understand that maybe it is something that appealed to a certain group of people. So just because it appeals to me doesn't mean that it appeals to the broadest audience. But that one I at least had to see.
yeah. That one's. I don't even like rap that much, but that was such a greatest hits of
Yes.
all rap.
I mean-
I was like, oh, I actually kind of enjoy most of these.
The hip hop.
The hip hop.
So this is what went down on X regarding the Bad Bunny thing. And folks, this is about all I'm going to say about Bad Bunny. Hopefully forever. I don't care about this because I'm not going to spend any time watching the Super Bowl intentionally. So 50 Cent said on X, I respect what he's doing, but telling Americans to learn Spanish for the Super Bowl, bro, this ain't Duolingo halftime. And then he said, last I checked, music's supposed to bring people together, not make us download Rosetta Stone.
Oh, that's funny.
I just appreciate his take on it.
I like that he dropped in both of the major language apps.
I bet he got paid for it.
He probably did. He's 50 Cent.
Yeah,
he knows.
did.
He knows how to
Yeah.
do that.
He's like reaching out to those different companies going, I'm going to put this out.
Right.
Like, what's it to you? I'm only going to say Duolingo unless Rosetta Stone, unless you pony up.
And they probably both did. You know who else is a master at that? Is Snoop Dogg. Man,
Yes.
that dude is a marketing machine. So is Shaq. They are everywhere.
Shaq is in my feed, on my Facebook feed, and he is endorsing some kind of oral appliance that stops you from snoring. But I've never.
That's great.
But was like, is this AI Shaq? Because I've never heard of the product. It's a Facebook ad. Those are sketchy.
He'll do ads like Nicolas Cage will do movies. Just send me the script and $1.
Have you ever heard him talk about why he does that?
No.
He understands his star power as well, if not better, than anybody else.
Sure he does.
And he actually considers it to be kind of an act of charity is a little, because he's definitely getting paid by it. But he knows what he can do for people. Like, some people would be super discriminatory about, like, I don't want to be in too many ads. He's not like that because he knows his star power is going to help people. He's an incredibly charitable individual. He's given back a lot. So, like, is he going to sit there and smile while he eats his Papa John's? You're darn right he is. And then he's going to not snore at night because he's got an oral appliance by some no-name company. But I was seriously like, well, if Shaq uses it.
I know. All these people doing ads for the General on TV, whatever that is.
Well, and somebody, I remember him talking in an interview one time, and he was like, he was approached by the General, and people were like, that's not your brand. Like, you're Shaq. You're the wealthiest guy ever. And he's like, I know that I was those people. Like, I am that person. Understanding what for a great auto rate, you can something on time. Go to the what is the
I don't know.
Will you do like a militant drum beat in the background so that I can? He's got eyes. They're just under
They're under his hat.
Helmet.
Sorry.
His hat.
His hard hat.
Do you care? I mean, will you make plans to watch the Super Bowl?
We always make plans to watch the Super Bowl
Do you ever
because
watch
it is a cultural phenomenon, and I love eating wings and hanging out with people. But I do
You
not
can do that for the Dancing with the Stars finale.
I don't care about the football usually, let alone the halftime show. The halftime show is a huge platform, though, for artists to launch tours, comeback, reunion things. I mean, Bad Bunny is unique in that he kind of is semi-peaking right now. A lot of times it's these artists that are sort of they're not on the decline, but they're on the back end of their career, and they're trying to sort of
You don't
push
get
it
paid
again.
to do that. It's a free gig. You get paid nothing, and you'll like it, like radio.
I don't know. I just wish that we could have some in this moment. You hoped the NFL would go, how about we do something that's just nice and middle. Everybody will like it.
I think that the best thing that can be put forward is somebody who can do great collaborations, so that you have a star, but then you bring in people from all different genres to scratch the itch for everybody. And I really wish it were Chris Stapleton. I feel like he's a big enough star that he would draw in that's the right audience. Football, Chris Stapleton. Ladies love Chris Stapleton, but Chris Stapleton could collaborate with anybody. And he's proven that in the different types of collaborations he has. But somebody like that who is really phenomenal at music. Does Bad Bunny, does he dance too or something like that?
I think he dances.
I don't really. Again, your tone makes me unsure of what you're really saying. I'm
pretty sure.
Does he dance for you?
I mean, there's always AI. You can make anything dance now. But I think there's genuine video out there of Bad Bunny dancing. I think that's how he hurt his Achilles tendon. I did see that news story. He pulled something.
Wiggins America next. The Democratic Party platform then and now. Let's see how close they are to who they used to be and where they've come. Wiggins America next. Don't go away. TheDiamondShop.net is the easiest place to go to learn about the Diamond Shop. You can also become a VIP, and I highly recommend becoming a VIP. If you're going to go visit the Diamond Shop, this is so quick, so simple to do. You log on to their website at TheDiamondShop.net and fill out a quick form, and almost always they've got something a little extra for VIPs, maybe a lot extra. I know at times they have 10% off additionally to whatever your purchase is if you are a VIP. And, depending on what you're buying, 10%'s nothing to shake a stick at. Ryan, leave me alone. Why are you judging me?
It's just, I'm not. Just go on. Just go on.
You weren't even listening. You weren't even listening.
Oh, I am listening. I'm listening to every single word.
No.
Shaking a stick at.
That's all you heard. The Diamond Shop's located in Clayton, and they welcome all kinds of kinds. And they have, over the course of being in business in St. Louis since 1910, folks, they have become the generational jeweler for families over and over and over again because people trust them. And when you're making a purchase like jewelry, or if you're taking a family heirloom in and you're handing that over to someone, you have to trust those folks. And people trust the folks at the Diamond Shop. I certainly do. And I encourage you to give them the opportunity to earn that trust as well. If you are looking for wedding bands, fine jewelry, watches, watch repair, appraisals, even if you're looking to maybe sell some gold, go to the Diamond Shop online at thediamondshop.net.
Hey, it's Kenny Wallace. A big congratulations to 97.1 FM Talk. 25 years strong as St. Louis's conservative voice. For me, 97.1 means more common sense. Here's to the next 25 years.
Mark Cox here. Let me introduce you to my friends at the Lit Cigar Lounge in St. Louis, where luxury meets comfort. Premium hand-rolled cigars, an extensive selection of rare bourbons and whiskeys and craft cocktails. It's comfortable for non-smokers, too. They have a state-of-the-art ventilation system. They have private lockers and live music every Friday night, perfect for date nights or business meetings or just winding down. Visit litstl.com.
We, without hesitation, recommend that anybody work with ThrottleNet. The experience will be as good as it's been for us, for anybody, because you'll get a true partnership and you'll be able to rest easy that you're going to get the service that you need while they're also doing all those things that you don't want to have to think about, that you don't want to have to worry about. They're always doing that in the background for you.
Don't wait for your next IT crisis. If your business depends on technology, you need a partner that's got your back. Contact ThrottleNet.com to get a free IT evaluation and see how we can support your IT everything.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Last year, more clients hired Morgan & Morgan than ever before. We now have more offices, more staff, and more lawyers than any other injury firm in the world, protecting America, fighting for you.
Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
You've got your whole life ahead of you, so choose a Medicare plan you can count on. And that's what you get with a Medicare Advantage plan from United Healthcare. With more than 45 years' experience serving its members, United Healthcare has plans with low monthly premiums that fit your life today and as your needs change tomorrow. The Medicare annual enrollment period ends December 7th, so go to uhc.com/Medicare today. United Healthcare Medicare plans. It's Medicare coverage Missouri can count on.
Annie Fry is back because truth doesn't take a break. 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Wiggins!
Oh, Wiggins!
All right, Annie Fry has been watching The West Wing, rewatching the West Wing, which started, in the late 90s?
Yes.
And so in light of our discussions about what the Democrats looked like in that era, I randomly just pulled up and started reading the 2000 Democratic Party platform from when Al Gore was running. Because it's from right in the center of that era.
Yeah.
And I thought, I'm going to look and see what they said about their own platform. Of course, this is where they shine the best light on themselves. We're going to be doing all these great things. We're just coming out of the Clinton era. Here's what's been. Here's what's going to be. And so I highlighted a bunch of stuff, and I just want to see what you think about what they were saying then. This is from their platform, of course, their words.
It's interesting. I haven't really looked at this specifically, but the first episode of The West Wing aired on September 22nd, 1999. So their first season would have been right in the midst of Hanging Chads. So when they started writing that, they would not have known, because that would have been Bill Clinton, they would not have known that it was going to go from a Democrat in office to a Republican.
And so this would have been right their playbook at the time.
I almost feel like it was propaganda, but go on.
Really? No way. No way. All right. The first one that I highlighted here, and I just went kind of in order. We'll see how far we get here, is fiscal discipline. Gets its own entire chapter here. It says today, America, this is Democrats, keep in mind, 2,000 Democrats. Today, America has gone from the biggest deficits in history to the biggest surpluses in history. Fiscal discipline keeps interest rates low and investment rates high, and it has helped fuel America's remarkable prosperity. We must not go back. That's why Democrats now vow to balance the budget every year.
Amen. Al Gore for president.
Barring a national emergency. But even this is not enough. In the 160 years since the very first Democratic platform, America has always struggled under a national debt. Today's Democrats believe we should pay down the debt every year until we can give our children the independence, self-sufficiency, and prosperity that will come from America that is debt-free.
Dun, dun, dun. Do you see what I'm saying about the West Wing? Like, we are not the same.
This, again, I'm reading this direct from the Democrat Party platform of 2000.
Democrat.
A revolution in American education.
Okay, education.
It says we cannot afford materially or morally to let another generation of American children pass through inadequate schools before we make needed changes that will save them from a lifetime of frustration and limited horizons.
Competition in the teacher workforce, is that what they're going for?
The time for action is now.
Obviously.
Here's the sentence you were looking for.
These are not the tax dollars you're looking for.
By the end of this next presidential term,
Yeah.
which would have been 2004 or 8, depending on how long they thought Al Gore would go, parents across the nation ought to be able to choose the best public school for their children.
Oh, hell. Really? How?
Yes. Now, it does say public school, but it says choose.
Moving? Does it say
No. They're not talking about
low mortgage
relocating.
rates?
They're talking about just having the choice to move away from failing schools.
How did Al Gore lose?
It says a demand of accountability from all, a genuine expansion of public school choice, and a renewed focus on discipline, character, and safety in our schools. Now, they do go into a long thing about gun violence here.
Yeah.
So nothing's changed there.
Well, and also it would have been not long after Columbine because
Right.
that happened in 1999. So that would have
Right.
been very top of mind.
But I just like to hear the words out of anybody's mouth, let alone a Democrat, saying we need to focus on discipline and character among our youth. How about strict
Does
accountability?
it say, wait, go back.
Okay,
Read
go
that
ahead.
one more time. Did it say discipline and character and gender? Did gender?
It did not say anything about gender.
Oh.
It just said
How thoughtless.
genuine expansion of public school choice and a renewed focus on discipline, character, and safety. Strict accountability for results and strong incentives for success. This one's not really particular to any certain policy, but it just says that consistently bad schools should be shut down. No excuses, no exceptions. And that teachers should be answerable.
Wait. They should
Go
be
ahead.
shut down? What if we just threw money at them?
That's a different policy. That's not their
Not
policy.
The Democrat policy?
Not at
in
this time.
2000?
Well, in other words, they would have maybe said the same thing.
What if we just spent more money?
I'm just going to read to you what they said here. Consistently bad schools should be shut down, period. No excuses, period. No expectations.
Does it say period?
Exceptions.
Are
No,
you
I'm just
alliterating
highlighting the period.
The fact that there was a period.
It does not say period. I will read one more line here before we get past this one. It says teachers should be answerable for what goes on in their classroom.
Okay.
I would almost vote Democrat 2000.
I wish the Democrats would vote Democrat 2000.
Now-
We'd fix our country.
Now, keep in mind, I'm highlighting things that are just egregiously funny about this. A lot of this stuff, they talk about abortion, so some of their policies haven't changed. They talk about throwing money at a lot of stuff in here. But just these lines, I'm like, guys, where'd you go?
I've been saying.
Where'd you go?
I've been saying. Let's talk more about policy in our political culture. Maybe we get somewhere, but maybe the people don't want to get anywhere. What if that's the case? Senator Jim Talon and Representative Ann Wagner next hour.
Public schools, like public libraries, should be free and open to all. Open enrollment allows parents to choose the school that's the best fit for their children. Maybe another school has a wider curriculum, is bigger or smaller. Maybe a kid is being bullied and would be more comfortable at another school. 75% of parents favor open enrollment. Open enrollment programs now exist in 43 states, and Missouri should join them. Our next-door neighbor, Kansas, has one of the strongest open enrollment policies in the nation. Kansas parents are trusted with choices and options, while Missouri parents must move out of their home to change public schools. And it's a trend. Nationwide, the percentage of students going to their chosen public school has steadily increased. Assigning kids to schools based on their zip code is the old way. Open enrollment is a better way. Learn more at showmeinstitute.org. The Show Me Minute has been brought to you by Show Me Institute and Show Me Opportunity.
The Retirement Advisory Group, you've heard of Thomas Helbig and Bob and Tammy Kershaw. These are the folks that are going to usher you over into retirement with confidence. It's nice to think about, isn't it? You've been dreaming about retirement, maybe even a little bit more lately because you're coming up to that magic age, or maybe you've just been there 59 and a half. You have some doors open to you at that age that you're going to want to know about. You're going to want to utilize opportunities that become afforded to you at that age to protect your retirement. And that's really what the Retirement Advisory Group does. That's their specialty. You are their specialty. They want to give you the opportunity to develop a personalized structured income plan for your retirement so that you have peace of mind when you do enter into retirement. It's a little scary at first, like, gosh, am I going to let go of this? But you're thinking, I am ready to let go of this, or I know that I'm going to want to be retired in a couple years. They are there to make sure that you know what the plan is, and it's a good plan. 314-993-9494, retirementkey.com.
When it comes to roofing, you can't go wrong with Corel Roofing. Mark Cox here. My friend Curtis Corel came out, looked at my roof, worked with my insurance adjuster. I got a new roof, new gutters, and even new screens on some of my windows. Curtis specializes in working with insurance companies. Even if you've been denied, he's often able to work with these insurance adjusters to find a way to get it covered. Here's something else Curtis tells me. With cooler weather coming, you need to be aware of something. Roofs cannot be installed if the temperature dips below 45 degrees. Some companies go ahead and do this anyway, but you're going to have problems down the road. So if you're concerned that your roof won't make it through the winter, call Curtis Corel today. Corel Roofing has crews with over 20 years of experience. They pay attention to detail, and they can work with all the luxury line roofing as well. Call Curtis at 314-222-9529. That's 222-9529. Or on Facebook at Corel Roofing Co.
KFTK FM Florissant from the Kaufman Townsley St. Louis's Injury Lawyers Studio. Call 314-500-5000.
That's 314-500-5000.
All on the free Odyssey app.
On day 7 of a government shutdown, I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News. There's still no end in sight, with Democrats remaining firm on extending Obamacare tax credits as part of a deal to reopen government.
Republicans have said the issue should be dealt with separately, and the tax credits need to be reformed. House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries was asked by Fox News Radio if reforming the program is on the table.
What I'm saying is that we have an open mind as it relates to an extension of the Affordable Care Act tax credits based on the merits of what is presented in good faith.
The subsidies impact about 22 million people, who Democrats say will see a significant increase in premiums if the program isn't extended by the end of the year.
Fox's Ryan Schmelz on the Hill. This as President Trump warns again layoffs are coming if the shutdown continues, also suggesting not all furloughed workers should get back pay.
I would say it depends on who we're talking about. I can tell you this, the Democrats have put a lot of people in great risk and jeopardy, but it really depends on who you're talking about.
The president says he'll follow the law. The White House Budget Office argues in a memo back pay is not guaranteed. The president also again defends a federal crime crackdown that's expanded from D.C. to other cities.
We have cities where there's tremendous crime, and Chicago's one of them. And if the governor can't straighten it out, we'll straighten it out.
Chicago and Illinois are suing over a National Guard deployment the administration argues is also needed to protect ICE agents and facilities.
You're sitting here grilling me, and they're on their way to Chicago to keep your state safe.
Madam Attorney General, it's my job to grill you.
Attorney General Pam Bondi telling Illinois Senator Dick Durbin,
I wish you loved Chicago as much as you hate President Trump.
At a Senate hearing where Democrats also accused her of weaponizing the Justice Department, Bondi says that's what happened under the Biden administration. One senator calling for a special counsel to investigate that. America is listening to Fox News.
Let's go! You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and help strengthen your immune response. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Schedule in minutes at VaxAssist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
You ever wonder why Verizon charges twice as much as Pure Talk for the same basic service? Think it might have something to do with the fact that Verizon spends $12 billion a year on advertising and promotion? That's billion with a B. Yeah, Pure Talk doesn't spend that kind of money on commercials. That's why they can offer unlimited talk, text, and plenty of data on a blazing fast 5G network for just $25 a month. Save an additional 50% off your first month when you dial pound 250 and say the words micro. That's pound 250, micro.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation. Weather.
Still a bit of a changeable sky across St. Louis this afternoon with a northerly flow. It's cooler, 75 degrees. I'll keep a chance of a spot shower. Don't get excited about it. Tonight, clearing skies and nice, 53. Wednesday, sunny and 75. 49 Wednesday night. Thursday, sunny, 73 for the high Thursday afternoon. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
The Annie Fry Show is sponsored by Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation. Air Comfort Service is hiring licensed journeymen. Don't have a journeyman license? Air Comfort Service will help you get it. Get guaranteed hours year-round and more. Apply online at aircomfortservice.com.
Annie Fry, Ryan Wiggins, Brad Rain.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride. What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
For goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Fry Show on 97.1 FM Talk.
Well, it's a great deal for Israel, and it's a great deal for everybody. And you want to get your hostages back, right? You want them back, or do you not want them back? And it's a great deal for Israel. It's a great deal for the entire Arab world, Muslim world, and world. So we're very happy about it.
When do you think the hostages will start being freed?
I think very soon. They're in negotiation right now as we speak. They've started the negotiation. It'll last a couple of days. We'll see how it turns out, but I'm hearing it's going very well.
President Trump speaking outside of Marine One, it sure sounds like, about the deal that is trying to be reached to try to achieve some peace between Hamas and Israel. And there are a lot of parties that are involved in this discussion, and we are hoping among hope that we can get something done here. It is 2 years since the absolutely horrific events of October 7th that took place in Israel at the hands of Hamas. And we want to acknowledge that today and talk about what that day was, and 2 years later, where we are as a country in proximity to Israel. We are joined now by former United States Senator from Missouri, Jim Talent. Welcome back to the show, Senator. It's always a pleasure to have you here.
And it's always a pleasure to be with you, Annie.
Well, thank you so much. I appreciate that. I want to give you the opportunity, before we talk about what kind of deal might be on the table, talk to me about October 7th, what your thoughts were, Senator, as the details of that absolutely horrific, unimaginable day were unfolding, especially in the context, the timeline surrounding Israel and the conflict in the Middle East there is biblical. But talk to me about October 7th and how that might have affected the timeline in that conflict.
Well, it changed everything, and you realize that when it happened, because it was an invasion by one government's forces of a neighboring country, particularly savage. You know the details of that. But it was the end of Israel's containment strategy. They had been containing the threats on their borders as well as they could, not just from Hamas, but Hezbollah, Iran, the Houthis. And it exposed the insufficiency of that policy. And so Israel has since moved to a preemption strategy, and they have emerged, as I've said on the show before, as the hegemon of the Middle East. In other words, the country that has the power and now the purpose of dominating its strategic environment for its own security. And I don't think they're going back either. In
the conflict that, Israel is in constant conflict. There are people who hate them, who don't want them to exist. And, is there another place or another people on earth that has to fend off what Israel has to fend off, as far as that hatred and that willingness to openly talk about the eradication of those people? Does that exist for another group of people on earth?
No, I think they have that morbid distinction. Now, there are other countries that, because of their position, as well as other factors have been invaded a lot, one thinks of Poland in that respect. But no, nobody like them. And we could go back through the reasons, religious, ethnic. It's a region that exists always in conflict. And one of our goals there, one of our vital interests in the Middle East is an equilibrium, is stability. You never get perfect stability there, but is an equilibrium so that our citizens can move, trade, and travel in the region in safety. And the other is, of course, defense of the homeland. And in both cases, Israel's enemies are our adversaries as well, which is why we're supporting them.
We were talking a little bit earlier in the show, at the beginning of the show, just marking the 2-year anniversary of this tragedy that had occurred on October 7th. And, initially, right out the gate, there was a sweep across the United States of support for Israel, but that faded quickly. And I'm thinking 2 years, looking forward 2 years after those events happened, you don't see a lot of pro-Israel protests out there, but there are a lot of people, of course, who do support Israel. But you do see a lot of like hodgepodge protests that have to do with Free Palestine, and the focus and the emphasis is on Gaza. I mean, would you have predicted that is how this would look 2 years later? And what do you make of that being kind of a central point for protests in our country right now, as something that's happening on the other side of the world?
Yeah, I wouldn't have predicted it, but looking back on it, it's not all that surprising. I think some of this is going to go away once the conflict is over, either because we do end up with an agreement or because Israel wins in Gaza. They've already won in the sense of accomplished their objectives with regard to, their northern borders and Iran. So I think some of that will go away. But I say not really surprising when I think about it, because the political left across the Western democratic world has been heading in that direction for some time. Israel's been losing some support, and that's where the bulk of the protests come from. I just don't think you can deny it now. In other words, that it's become a staple of the far left's policy agenda, basically to be anti-Israel. I don't think everybody in that movement understands what that would mean, but I think, that's where the leaders are. You look at the fellow who's ahead in the race for New York, and you see that, the New York mayor. So I think in that sense, this is going to be with us. And you'll recall it began almost immediately after the attacks. It began even before Israel had responded on the ground. It began when Israel was still trying to eject the Hamas fighters from southern Israel. It began within a few days before the invasion of Gaza ever began. It's based in anti-Semitism. I think there's a lot of politics, particularly in places like Europe on this, where they're appealing to a certain segment of the electorate. But I do fear this is going to be with us to a substantial degree for some time.
So when you listen to, let's shift into, some sort of peace deal. As you mentioned, there are two outcomes here. Either peace is achieved or Israel wins. What do you feel about where this peace deal is, what the propositions are here? And, is there an out here for Hamas to somehow move away from this conflict with anything left to hang their hat on? What are your thoughts on the organization of this peace deal?
Well, I think not. I think Hamas is checkmated. If they agree to return the hostages, which is the key thing. I mean, there's several. If we had enough time, I'd go through a number of key things. Sure. But the real key is to return all the hostages and return them up front before Israel has to do anything. If they do that, then to me it's a signal that they may actually be willing to disarm, because once they've given up the hostages, they've lost their last constraint on the IDF, right? So that's just not consistent. Giving up the hostages is not consistent with continuing the struggle. If they don't give up the hostages, then Israel will finish the conflict in Gaza City. They already control about 70% of Gaza as it is, and they'll be forcibly disarmed. So we're going to know, I think, within a couple of days how serious they are about this. They may actually agree, because the rest of the Arab world has turned very strongly against them, to include Qatar and Turkey. That's really what is so encouraging and also at least mildly surprising about this. It's a triumph of President Trump's diplomacy. I mean, I don't think there's any other way to say it. So this whole process is as close to checkmate of Hamas as you can get. They're going to try and spin it out and then hope that, they don't have to, that Israel won't start the ground war again. But I don't think the president intends to let him do that. I think he said, the clip you just played, he said they got a couple of days. And of course, Rubio said the other day, we're just talking about the logistics of this, the details. We're not negotiating the fundamentals of this agreement.
We're speaking with former Senator Jim Talent. I want to know, before we let you go, the last questions I have for you are really how you are absorbing and processing a lot of sentiment that's being discussed, certainly through social media, through alternate media outlets, podcasts and stuff. There seems to be a growing anti-Israel sentiment from certain influencers on the right. And for people who have understood the close relationship between the United States and Israel for so incredibly long, it's kind of seemed paramount to our ability to, have a great place in the Middle East, positioning in the Middle East, and that partnership seeming to be rock solid. There are criticisms coming out now that are coming from unusual places. And I think a lot of people looking at this are not 100% sure what to do with it because they don't really have the information to make an educated opinion on the opinions that are being afforded to them. I'm wondering what your thoughts are on some of the anti-Israel, the anti-allyship, partnership assessments that are being made out there for people to consume.
Yeah. Well, to the extent that this is just anti-Semitism, and there's a fair amount of that. And, I criticized the left before. There's some of it on the right as well. And it needs to be stepped on. I think our leaders are trying to do that. To the extent it's just that, we just have to, I think, cast it out of the universe of permissible opinion. I mean, I'm not the kind of person, I like a big Overton window. I like people to be able to say what they think. But anti-Semitism, probably the oldest hatred, and it's a very bad thing when it is growing in a society, and it never stops with the Jews. It's always, it begins with them. It never stops with them. You can just make book on that. Now, there are people across the spectrum who have legitimate criticisms of Israel, particularly in the second and third order issues, like do they have too many settlements in the West Bank? Do they really need to enforce security the way they do in the West Bank? I mean, look, we can have a conversation about all of those things, but when what you are implicating is the right of the Jewish state to exist, particularly against the background of persecution that they suffered for 2 millennia, culminating in the Holocaust, I just think even if you're doing it in good faith, which is hard to imagine, you're just wrong. You're just flat out wrong. And so we continue the dialogue. Now, I think there are some people on the right, and believe me, I get this. I understand this. They're just concerned about any involvement of the United States in the Middle East because of the track record, in the first couple of decades of this century. And I get that. But we do have interests there. We can and should protect them. That does not mean we're going to go in and fight ground wars in the Middle East. It's almost always wrong in this day and age. But actually, the support for Israel, they're exactly the kind of ally President Trump wants. They're not just burden sharers, they're burden owners. They're doing all the hard work and protecting our interests in doing that. So I just think we have to keep getting that message out.
Well, I appreciate you for doing that here on our show. Senator Talent, thank you for the time today. As always, we look forward to having you back.
Anytime. Thank you.
Sounds good. Bye-bye. Senator Jim Talent, former congressman and senator there from the state of Missouri, also the chairman of the Reagan Institute's National Leadership Council. Our YouTube poll for today, we're going to talk about this when we come back. Do you believe crimes of treason have been committed? Yes or no? Go to the Annie Fry YouTube channel and vote and tell us what you think. We'll be right back.
Just woke up from a dream where you and I had to say goodbye.
Michael's Flooring Outlet online at igotfloored.com. Are you in search for flooring? Are you in search for a new renovation in your office? Because Michael's Flooring Outlet is happy to come service your residence, your new basement. Maybe the kids have moved out and you're turning that bedroom into a craft room or a music room or a study or a guest room or whatever. And it's time to get rid of the carpet and put in that Techwood Plus line of flooring. Whatever your needs are, Michael's Flooring Outlet is there to help you. And that includes your commercial business, your commercial buildings. If you need new flooring in there, reach out to Michael's Flooring Outlet first online, if you so choose, at igotfloor.com. And you can request an estimate directly from the website. You can read reviews of other happy, satisfied customers, even people, if there's a bump in a road or whatever. Michael's Flooring Outlet is going to work to the end to make sure that you are yet another satisfied customer. Find them online at igotfloor.com. You can find them in 3 different locations in the St. Louis area. And if you're shopping for flooring in the bi-state region, you want to go with somebody who you can trust, somebody who cares about you and cares about quality and value at the same time. That's Michael's Flooring Outlet. Online at igotfloor.com.
Recently, a new client called me and started by saying, "Mr. Morgan, I really need your help, but I'm just a nobody." Those words stunned me, and I immediately called him back. And we're now helping him and his family after a terrible accident. I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Everybody who comes to our firm at their time of need is a somebody. I grew up poor, but my grandmother was like a queen to us. At Morgan & Morgan, our goal is to level the playing field for you and your family at your time of need. The insurance company has unlimited money and resources. You need a firm who can fight them toe-to-toe. For right at 30 years, we have fought them in courtrooms throughout America. Our results speak for themselves. And always remember this, everybody is a somebody, and nobody is a nobody. Visit forthepeople.com to learn about our firm. Morgan & Morgan, for the people.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements. Past results afford no guarantee of future results. Every case is different and must be judged on its own merits.
If you're thinking about replacing your windows before winter hits, which is smart, don't keep making the same mistake. Stop replacing your failing vinyl windows on your home now with more vinyl. Lakeside Renovation and Design will install Infinity from Marvin fiberglass windows. They're built to last, they're energy efficient, plus they look stunning, and they're custom built for your home. Installed by Lakeside's expert team, and they're going to offer a lifetime workmanship warranty. If you're ready to upgrade your windows once and for all, you need to visit windowsbylakeside.com. Schedule your free consultation today.
No need to get technical on heating and cooling. We all want our houses to cool, correct? When it's heating season, we want them to heat, correct? There's not much more to it than that, but I can give you some pointers and tips on the efficiencies, meaning the efficiencies of your house. What you can do to make your house more efficient, and then deciding on what system to purchase, therefore maximizing every single dollar you spent for a furnace and air conditioner. Not spending maximum dollars on a furnace and air conditioner because you're told of an efficiency rating, and that's it. So again, a common sense approach. When you start getting prices for new furnace and air conditioners, call me. It's one easy number, Missouri and Illinois. Again, Missouri and Illinois, the only number, 314-293-2600. Again, that's 314-293-2600, or on the internet, it is bartinman.com. That's Bart with a B, Inman with an I.com. God bless.
Welcome to Coffee House. How are you today?
Hi, great, thanks. May I get a sea salt caramel latte with almond milk, extra caramel, extra shot, iced,
Gross.
and to go, please. Did you get all that?
No, I was just ringing you up for all the extras. Can you repeat your order, please?
Oh, never mind. I'm just gonna go.
Stop paying extra for extras. Get fancy coffee without the fancy coffee price at Quick Trip. Raise your coffee bar.
Sponsored by Progressive. We make the claims process easy so you could get back on the road in no time. It's why over 43 million drivers trust Progressive. See for yourself at progressive.com.
You're listening to The Annie Fry Show on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
First of all, I want to thank Senator Grassley. It is because of his relentless advocacy for whistleblowers that a lot of this information is surfacing right now. We wouldn't know about the list of 100 Republican entities that were targeted by Jack Smith's Arctic Frost investigation. I don't think we know about this as well. So we need whistleblowers. I think Dan Bongino and folks in the FBI, they don't know where all the records are hidden. They still don't. They're not necessarily getting 100% cooperation. But this is outrageous what has happened. I just want to give you a timeline of this. I think you've already got the FBI sheet that shows the number of members of Congress that were targeted. Representative Kelly, Senators Graham, Haggerty, Hawley, Sullivan, Tuberville, myself, Senator Lummis, and Blackburn.
Here you have Senator Ron Johnson from Wisconsin listing 8 of the Republican senators who were targeted by Jack Smith's investigation. Man, when I heard this headline, I don't know why I got mad. Like, obviously, this is the type of crap that these people have been engaged in. The details behind the type of gosh, what's a better word for it than treasonous activity. And it's not just the Joe Biden administration. Let's go all the way back to when Barack Obama was the president of the United States, when they were trying to get Hillary Clinton elected. And then after they were trying to get Hillary Clinton elected, they lost. And then they tried to figure out how to sabotage Donald Trump. Today's YouTube live chat poll, do you believe crimes of treason have been committed, yes or no? I'm going to play for you Josh Hawley's. They're questioning Pam Bondi today. They had a hearing with Pam Bondi, and listening to Josh Hawley, your senator from Missouri, man, he does a number. So I want to let you listen to that in full, and it's a bit lengthy, and we have Congresswoman Ann Wagner coming up in 6 minutes from now. This stuff shouldn't be surprising. It would be surprising if this stuff didn't happen, really.
Well, we're conditioned to believe that the movies are reality, and then we start to realize, that actually is happening. When you were just playing some of that clip, it struck me that we've kind of gotten too accustomed to that being a possible reality, that we should be outraged at this kind of thing. When you say it this way, when you say that 9 Republican senators were targeted. Now, we could be talking about a variety of issues if we just said that sentence. But if they were targeted by America, the American government
bureaucracy
was targeting GOP senators. That is treason. There's no other word. That's why the word was invented, was for that. Because they're betraying their own kinsmen.
I want to go to Speaker Johnson talking right now on Capitol Hill.
The CR was completely clean. It was 24 pages in length, and it is the bare minimum to keep the lights on so that government can continue to work for the people. Real pain is being felt by real people around this country because Chuck Schumer and the Democrats over here are playing political games. We all know the reasons why. They have selfish motivations because they're trying to cover themselves for their left flank. In my press conference this morning on the other side, in the other chamber, I mentioned that Chuck Schumer has been in Washington for 44 years. He began his congressional career when I was in 3rd grade. I was 9 years old when he came to this building. And ever since he came here, throughout his career, he has been a fierce advocate for never closing down the government. I mean, he gave impassioned speeches most recently as 7 months ago in March of this year, when he stood before the cameras and he gave an impassioned speech on the Senate floor saying that it would be dangerous and destructive and terrible to close down the government, that he had to do the right thing. Right after he took that vote, he went on to the national media. He did a big interview on CNN, I think with Jake Tapper, and he said, I'm proud of my vote. I know I did the right thing. What changed? What changed? Nothing's changed except his political calculation. He's afraid that a Marxist is going to challenge him in his reelection because Marxism is in vogue in New York City, apparently, and he represents the state of New York. They're going to elect a Marxist for mayor. It's a shocking development, and I think it's shocking to Chuck Schumer as well. Nothing he factored in when he came here in 1981, but that is the political winds now. And so he's playing games, the American people's livelihoods and their actual lives. This is not a game. Leader Thune just mentioned, this gets very real. Checks to our troops will be held up October 15th if they don't come in here tomorrow and vote to reopen the government. You have to get it resolved by October 13th, which is Monday, in order to process those checks. I come from a big military district. I have Barksdale Air Force Base. The Home Global Strike Command is there. I have Fort Polk, the Joint Readiness Training Center. We have young airmen and soldiers deployed around the world right now defending our freedom. And they've left their young families at home. They're dependent upon that check on October 15th. And some of them, sadly, also rely upon WIC funding, Women, Infants, and Children Nutrition Programs. That's suspended as well. Why? Because Chuck Schumer wants to play political games. I do not understand it. I hope every journalist here listening today will go and demand him to do the right thing. Ask him the question, why are you doing it? He has no justification. They have created a distraction. They're trying to pretend this is about a end of the year policy decision on health care, and it is not. It's a clean, simple CR. Let's keep the government open so that we can do this work and continue those debates. Again, thank you, Leader Thune, for your leadership, and I'm sure you'll take a few questions.
Yeah,
What's that?
The OMB lawyers, the top lawyer at the OMB on the 2019 statute on back pay. He says it's not guaranteed for federal workers that are impacted here. And President Trump followed that up saying that it wasn't certain that all employees would get back pay. Have you taken a look at that memo, and what is your interpretation?
I haven't looked at the memo specifically yet. My assumption is that furloughed workers will get back pay. But that being said, this is very simple. Open up the government, and this is a non-issue. We don't have to have this conversation. Everybody gets paid when the government is open. The Democrats can do it by delivering a handful of votes this afternoon. We could go in there and we could open up this government. The president's ready to sign it into law, as the speaker pointed out. If that doesn't happen, there are a lot of really bad things that happen to the American people. And there are going to be a lot of people who aren't going to be getting paychecks. And you know, he mentioned our troops. That is something that becomes a reality starting next week.
Well, that's Senator John Thune. He's, of course, a Senate Majority Leader, and he is talking about what's at stake. He followed the Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson, so the shutdown doesn't seem to have a solution quite yet. There are reports right now that Senator King, who is a Democrat, may be considering changing his vote up to vote with the Republicans. So that would be one more. We'll see if anything else materializes, if there's a snowball effect here. We're going to take a very quick break because Congresswoman Ann Wagner, the representative from Missouri's 2nd District, will be with us in just a couple minutes. Congresswoman Ann Wagner, next. Don't go away. RulerFoods.com. Save on your grocery bill by shopping at Ruler Foods. Like, you just go in the store and fill your cart up and you're going to save money. They have the name brands that you love. They also carry Kroger brands at Ruler Foods prices, and the savings are daily. They also have savings on special things. You know, of course, every grocery store is going to have a few promotional items that they want to help get you in the store. Here are a few that you can save on right now. Red or white seedless grapes, just $1.79 a pound. You can save on Heritage Farm chicken tenders or Kroger pork belly or pork baby back ribs, only $2.99 per pound. Avocados, 79 cents each. And Big K soft drink, 12 packs, 3 for $9. Save at Ruler Foods when you fill your grocery cart or when you fill your online cart, because did you know that Ruler Foods can ship their savings directly to your door? If you haven't found the Ruler Foods near you, go online to rulerfoods.com. You can throw your zip code in. You can find the Ruler Foods that is closest to your home, to church maybe for a Sunday, if it's close to work, and save on your grocery bill. Who can't afford to save a few dollars here and there? That's why we shop at Ruler Foods. I hope you will as well. rulerfoods.com.
This is your chance to win a free basic handgun skills class from the Range St. Louis West. Mark Cox here, 14803 Manchester Road in Baldwin is where the range sits, and you got to go. This is ideal for beginners, expert instruction. They have it available in a women-only class if you're more comfortable. Normally the class is $135. You can win right now, therangestl.com/971. Again, therangestl.com/971.
If you've been injured in a trucking accident in St. Louis, you need attorneys who live here and work here. We know the STL and fight for the STL. You need Kaufman Townsley. Real people, real results. Call 314-500-5000.
Join Mark Patrick seminars and lose the weight or stop smoking guaranteed. That's right, weight loss seminar at the Marriott St. Louis West in St. Louis at 11 a.m. Registration 10:30 a.m. Stop smoking seminar 2 p.m. Registration 1:30 p.m.
Cutting through the spin. 97.1 FM Talk. St. Louis Conservative.
position that furloughed workers should be paid for their back pay?
I would say it depends on who we're talking about. I can tell you this, the Democrats have put a lot of people in great risk and jeopardy, but it really depends on who you're talking about. But for the most part, we're going to take care of our people. There are some people that really don't deserve to be taken care of, and we'll take care of them in a different way.
Well,
okay?
President Trump speaking from the Oval Office today, the stakes are very high regarding that the government shutdown. What is at stake? A lot of people, of course, are being furloughed, and the question now is going to be, will those paychecks go out? Will they go out on time if the government does reopen? Do we have a pathway to a government reopening? Let's ask to a woman in the room. That is Congresswoman Ann Wagner. She represents the 2nd District of Missouri. Wagner.house.gov for more information. Congresswoman, thank you so much for the time today. It's great to have you back on the show.
It's good to be on, Annie. Great to be with you and your listeners.
Thank you so much. Give us your viewpoint from being there and seeing the conversations happening. Where are we on a shutdown?
Well, here we are, day 7, and yes, indeed, the government is still shut down. A complete waste of taxpayer dollars. It's bad for governance. It obviously hurts our economy, and now potentially all of our workers. It is just a total dereliction of duty by the Democrats, who supported, I should say, 13 times this same measure, a clean continuing resolution. They have supported it 13 times. No poison pills, Annie. No partisanship, nothing. We're trying to buy more time so we can do our work, which are the appropriations bills that we actually were pretty far along with a number of them in dealing with the Senate. We're trying to buy another 6 or 7 weeks, and they're trying to play political partisan games while countering with $1.5 trillion in taxpayer-funded spending for a lousy 6 or 7 weeks while we negotiate. I mean, and we've done our job in the House. We passed the continuing resolution 217 to 212, and our position is we're not going to negotiate against ourselves. The Democrats must reopen the government, and we are pleased, more than pleased, to sit down and talk about some of these issues that are on their mind leading up to the end of the year, because none of these things expire until that time frame.
We're speaking with Congresswoman Ann Wagner, the 2nd District representative in the state of Missouri. Okay, so talk to us folks who don't really understand politics very well, because I'm thinking if the Republicans were in the minority everywhere, and if the person who I think is the most evil man in all the land was the president of the United States, I'd be like, Congresswoman, I want you to obstruct every chance you get the opportunity to do that. Is that what the Democrats are doing right now? Are they just trying to stop the wheels of government because that's all that they can do? Is it more destructive than politics, what we're seeing the Democrats do right now?
It's a very good take and perspective, Annie. It is destructive. And as I said, it's good for nobody. Workers, the economy, governance, none of it. Nobody wins in a situation like this. And more importantly, we're wasting time when we should be doing our work, which are passing budget bills and appropriation bills so that we can fund the government and continue about our work and business. And what you've got is a situation where Chuck Schumer, who's in charge of the Senate, we peeled off about 3 or 4 of their Democrats in the Senate, but he still has the reins on the rest, and he's afraid of a primary by AOC. He's afraid that in March, when he supported a continuing resolution like this, as they did 13 times, that his base got infuriated because he wasn't fighting, as you said. Fight, fight, fight. And I don't understand what he's fighting for. It's sure not the poor service members that are concerned about a paycheck that happens next week or doesn't happen, all right? There are people that this will really affect, Annie, that aren't just paid monthly like a lot of government workers are, but our troops who are paid twice a month. By mid next week, they're mid month, I should say. By the end of next week, they're going to be expecting a paycheck, and many are living hand to mouth. Okay, this is important for them, and we've got to open up the government, make sure they get paid, and get about our business in the best way possible, working across the aisle to do so.
We're speaking with Congresswoman Ann Wagner. Okay, so if there's anything in my mind, I'm trying to search for the purpose and the intent of the Democrats and trying my darndest to put some best construction on it. What I do see them doing is bringing to the forefront of the conversation when it comes to government funding the issue of healthcare. And healthcare, Barack Obama might have been elected because of how he talked about health care. And that was quite some time ago. And the implementation that was put in seems to be problematic now that we're in 2025. So it doesn't seem to have been the solution to the problem, which is people need to be able to afford health care. I'm not going to ask you to solve health care right now in this 10-minute interview, but I am going to ask you, is the budget where health care gets solved, or is it in an entirely different conversation that can be handled, in a different congressional bill? Because that seems to be where we're sort of heading, where a lot of the frustration is going to be with when we get to the part where we're actually discussing policy after the shutdown is over, hopefully. How do you solve health care? Is it in this budget process?
Well, it's not in this budget process, certainly not the way the Democrats are trying to negotiate. They're trying to take $1.1 trillion of, again, taxpayers' money and repeal the guardrails that we enacted through the big, beautiful bill, Working Families Tax Cut. And they really are trying to repeal the work requirements that we demanded. I heard you had Jim Talent on. Jim Talent negotiated work requirements in Medicaid for able-bodied Americans to work in order to receive this. He negotiated that with President then Bill Clinton. Okay, we're just trying to bring that back. We also have insisted that we are going to not have the duplication. There are many people receiving Medicaid in multiple states. And then thirdly, we're not going to be paying for illegal immigrants to receive taxpayer-funded Medicaid to the tune of about 200,000 illegal immigrants that are going through the emergency room door each and every single year. So there is that portion of it that they're wanting to claw back from the bill we just had signed into law. And then they want to put back in place the COVID-era Obamacare subsidies, okay? This was done by Joe Biden. First of all, health care and Obamacare, you get subsidies. This was something that was expanded, and they expanded it, the Democrats and Joe Biden did, through 2025. And it's just, COVID is over. And there was zero bipartisan support for this when he did it back during COVID. And it sometimes allows families that are making up to $500,000, $500,000 a year to get an additional subsidy on their health care benefits. So if we're going to bring down the cost of health care, if we're going to do like the president wants to do, which is bring down the cost of pharmaceuticals, that is going to be done through other pieces of legislation that are being worked on right now that we are all trying to advance. There are many different things dealing with private insurance and co-ops and different things of this nature that are going to be coming on the market. As I said, we're also going to be negotiating pharmacy rates that are going to help the Americans, everyday Americans and seniors when it comes to their pharmaceuticals. So solving this issue isn't going to be done over 6 weeks when we're supposed to be doing appropriations and a budget, and important things are at stake here. So we hope that as the week progresses and we come to the end of this week, looking into next week when our troops need to be paid. And by the way, I am on the Jen Kiggins piece of legislation, which is the Pay Our Troops Act, that will prevent any kind of military personnel from being dinged and not receive their paycheck for these ridiculous lapses in government funding.
We're speaking with Congresswoman Ann Wagner. I think that's a wonderful effort to be involved in. I wanted to ask you if we can shift before we let you go. The revelation that we found out over the past 24 hours was released to the American people that Jack Smith and his investigation into everything that happened with January 6th, that the intelligence communities were listening in on, my understanding is 8 GOP senators on their communications. And, we're still kind of getting to the bottom of this. We heard at the hearing with Pam Bondi today in front of the Senate Judiciary a few of those senators who happen to be on that list sharing a piece of their mind, including our senator here in the state of Missouri, Josh Hawley. Just want to get your reaction. Like, I hear that, and it freaks the heck out of me that this type of stuff is going on from our bureaucracies in government. What does a congresswoman think of the knowledge that has been released in the last day?
It is. It's stunning to hear, and I'm glad that it's been brought forward so that A.D. Bondi can explain what exactly the FBI, the Biden FBI, and Jack Smith were doing to weaponize our government against sitting members of the United States Senate, and I believe there were a couple of House members also. They were basically, they'll say, collecting metadata. What that means for for you and me is they were wiretapping them. Okay, they were tracking them. It's chilling to think that this was going on by our FBI. We don't know for what purposes or what all they collected, but I feel quite certain that through the proper oversight that we're going to get to the bottom of this. But this is the entire weaponization of the Biden administration that we just still sadly continue to hear about, even as his tenure has been over now for a good 8 or 9 months. The revelations still pour out, and yes, it's chilling for each and every citizen of this country. So we will get to the bottom of it and make sure that we're not using our law enforcement for the kind of lawfare and politicization that we've seen the Biden administration do in the past.
Congresswoman, stay at it. We appreciate your time here. Please come back again soon. The shutdown is obviously at the forefront of most of our conversations, so we love having you here, and we'd love to have you back.
You bet. I would love to come back, and I hope when the next time we're speaking, I'm in Washington, D.C., and we're actually doing our committee business, passing our budget and appropriations process, and getting back to work. So
Yes.
I look forward to it. We hope and pray.
Sounds wonderful. Congresswoman, thank you for the time today.
You bet. Take care. Bye now.
Bye-bye. Yep, time to get back to work as soon as they can figure out how to open that government. I fail to see where the Democrats don't have to say, okay, well, we tried, and then cave on the position that they've put themselves in. But we will watch and we will wait. Thank you to Congresswoman Ann Wagner. Good to have her on. We've talked to quite a few people from Congress here in the last couple weeks. It's an important topic, and just a reminder that those folks come on this show because they want to talk to you, and we're grateful that they do that. All right, quick break. The YouTube live chat poll is still popping. We need your votes, need your comments as to why you voted the way you did. Listening to a little bit of that conversation with Congresswoman Ann Wagner, listening to them discuss the wiretapping of just Republican senators. Jack Smith, who was investigating the January 6th incident. How do you feel about that? Do you believe crimes of treason have been committed? John says, interesting poll question. When I think treason, I think about John Kerry going around undermining President Trump with the International Theater during his first term. I guess that's another detail. And Dale says, no, according to the definition, but yes to sedition and attempted coup, plus many others. What do you think? Comment on the YouTube. We'll be right back.
If you love me, come on, get involved. Feel it rushing through you from your head to toe.
Home Shield Foundation Repairs with an S.com is the website. Matt Hayes and his amazing team at Home Shield Foundation Repair, they're the folks that you want to call when you have a foundational structural issue with your basement, wetness, cracks in the wall, whatever it might be. When you hire Home Shield Foundation Repair, or even when you just call Matt Hayes at 314-227-9636 to inquire, you can invite him out to your home so he can take a look. Before any business is done, he's going to want to know what you're dealing with. And that's one of the reasons why I think you can trust this guy, because it's not like you're going to just like off the shelf get a basement waterproofing system. He needs to know what he's dealing with. The expertise and the experience over 25 years in the industry that you are hiring with Home Shield Foundation Repair is reliable, and they stand by their customer first approach with you. They're in tune with what your needs are, not just some, easy approach that they apply in each basement that they go in. Your situation matters to them, and that's why they are going to assess it before they offer you a quote. 314-227-9636. Hire Matt Hayes at Home Shield Foundation Repair and get your basement taken care of. HomeshieldFoundationRepairs.com.
Hi, it's Brian Kilmeade. Congratulations to 97.1 FM Talk on 25 years. For me, you've always been so important and a part of my day. Knowing that St. Louis is listening has made this show worth doing. Cheers to the next chapter.
You hear that? That's the sound of your business losing money. Legacy phone systems weren't built for today's teams. Quo, formerly OpenPhone, gives your business a smarter way to stay connected. Quo lets you manage calls, texts, voicemail, and contacts all in one place so that you can deliver a seamless customer experience from ring to... Need to take calls on the go? Quo automatically transcribes, summarizes, and highlights next steps from every call, so you never miss a detail. Need insight into what closes a sale? With Quo's AI call tags, you can instantly spot key topics like objections or pricing questions and use those insights to level up every customer interaction. And yes, you can bring your existing number with you for free. Keep your team in sync and your customers happy with Quo. Quo. No missed calls, no missed customers. Try Quo for free at quo.com/free and get 20% off your first 6 months. That's quo.com/free. QUO.com/free.
When it comes to affordable term life insurance, everyone's whistling the Big Lou tune. If you're over 50, maybe a bit porky, or have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost about $200 a month. Even if you're not in perfect health, call Big Lou, because he specializes in finding big chunks of affordable term life insurance for just about everyone. Don't let diabetes or other health glitches keep you from owning $500,000 to $1 million or more of term life insurance. For affordable term life insurance, call Big Lou. Don't hesitate. Call 800-700-6898, 800-700-6898, or visit biglou.com.
Call Big Lou, don't hesitate. 800-700-6898. Call Big Lou, don't hesitate. 800-700-6898. Visit biglou.com.
Hi, Mark Cox with Gloria Lou, owner of Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. Welcome back, Gloria. You've been helping families for over 22 years with your guarantees, your buyers in waiting program, and you were telling me that between now and year end is a great time to sell. Can you share why?
Always good to see you. When it comes to timing, the spring and fall selling season have historically been the most active. However, due to raised home value and affordability, this market still has lots of sellers and buyers on the sidelines. Fact is, between now and year end is a great time to discuss the sale of your home. I have guaranteed sale program solutions for every situation, including instant multiple cash offers, 100% market value, or my trusted guarantee sale program, where I'll sell your home at our agreed upon price, or I will buy it myself.
Sounds like a plan, and the time is now. Call Gloria right now at 314-325-6888. That's 314-325-6888. Or visit GloriaHasTheBuyers.com. That's GloriaHasTheBuyers.com.
Gloria and seller must agree on price and possession date.
Do you believe crimes of treason have been committed? Yes or no? That's the YouTube live chat poll of the day. Let us know. We will give you the results of this poll at the end of the show. It is 1:50 right now. I do want to mention before we get to the top of this hour that we have a party coming up, and you are invited to that party. It is the 25th anniversary of this radio station being on the air as of 2000. We are now 25 years old this month, and we're having a party on the 23rd of this month. So don't get confused. 25th anniversary, but the party's on the 23rd. That is at Lit Cigar Lounge. You're invited. All the details are at 971talk.com. It is 150. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating, Air Conditioning, Electrical, and Plumbing.
It's time for a $98 furnace tune-up.
Rooted in faith, grounded in family. We're back with more truth. This is the Annie Fry Show.
Hard to interrupt this. YouTube.
Yet you did it.
What are we?
Your phone's going off
You know
or
what
something.
it is? It's Ethan Hannaford highlights.
Oh, is it?
Why did you send us this, Ethan?
Ethan sent us highlights of Ethan?
It's a YouTube reel of Ethan Hannaford highlights. I'm going to take a risk here, and I'm just going to let this kind of roll and hope he doesn't say the F word in the middle of a play-by-play.
On the air.
Yeah, I mean,
to the right.
listen to that professional.
Shotgun motions Alexander now to the left. Takes the snap,
That was
fakes
better.
the handoff, has time in the pocket, now under pressure.
Oh,
He's going to be wrapped up.
listen to that energy. Sorry. I blame you, Ethan, for sending me audio during the show that isn't about the show. It is now.
Was that the best, Ethan?
Is that the most Anchorman thing I've ever done?
I don't know.
Ethan's just actively trying to get a better job. I don't blame you. I know you are, and I don't fault that.
But what am I?
Say the party stuff again.
Yeah, the party stuff. The party stuff is that we are turning 25 years old, and we're having this big party where all of us are going to be there. It's at Lit Cigar Lounge in Chesterfield. And here, actually, let me grab.
I think 25 is when like the government considers you to be like really, really an adult.
Our insurance goes down finally.
Probably not.
So we have just lots and lots of people involved. Rhino Shield, U.S. Men's Medical Center, Lore Wine and Spirits, Old Dominic Distillery, Rayburn Wines, all are sponsors of this event. And if you want to get a VIP ticket, I would actually move very fast because we think those will be gone by the end of this week.
I didn't know
If
there were
not-
still any left.
Yeah, there's not many left.
Okay. Well,
So
hurry up and fill it with Annie Fry Show listeners
they're
because
$30, and even if it was not a party, like what you get with that 30, without it being anything else, is worth it because you get food and drinks, and I think you get a cigar if you're a smoker.
you probably get one if you're not a smoker.
Well, yeah, you can get one anyway.
It's just up to you what you do with it. Yeah. So come, we want you to fill that room up with our people. You're all our people. So what's the website? 971talk.com/events.
Yep.
All right, go check it out. I wanted to play this clip. I know how much you love SNL. SNL means a lot to you, at least over the course of the years. Did you see this Rob Schneider conversation about running into Robert De Niro?
I did see this.
This is kind of funny. This is kind of interesting. This is Robert Schneider. He's on the Sage Steele show, talking about being a very pro-Trump guy at the SNL 50 event.
I had to pray before I went to the Saturday Night Live 50th anniversary. And I was like, I don't know if I should go because I know they don't like me. And I said, I didn't wear like my Trump hat or anything. I wanted to.
Red MAGA hat.
But I wasn't going to go, we won! Anyway, I'm there. And I go, I'm just going to sit, just relax. It's going to be fine. Then I see 2 rows down, I see Robert De Niro. He's not a Trump supporter. He not like Trump. And I love Trump. And I said, well, I'm not going to have to deal with him. Now, at the end of the show, they do this wonderful thing, a lovely thing, Lorne Michaels does, where he invites everybody on stage. If you've ever been a cast member, if you've ever hosted, he invites us all on stage. And everybody in the audience has been on for 50 years, so everybody there has been either on the show or hosted the show or been a cast member. So we're all walking, and all of a sudden, and I see De Niro like 2 rows in front of me, and all of a sudden people start pushing again. And the next thing I'm right behind De Niro, and I go, please don't push, he doesn't like Trump. And I bump into him, and he turns around. I swear to God, he does. He's like, Schneider, I don't understand. He's a schmuck. Why can you support that? I don't understand how you could support that. He's turning a whole country into schmucks. In my mind, the only thing I thought about was like, Robert De Niro knows who I am.
It's just the appropriate reaction, is it not?
Yeah, so I watched the 50th anniversary way late. I did not watch it when it was out in March. And it was because of my Jack Handy connection, because I heard he had a deep thought in the 50th and I wanted to see it.
Yeah.
And then tell him congratulations.
And if you're not aware, Ryan Wiggins wrote a book that is basically Deep Thoughts by Jack Handy, but it's Deep Thoughts by Ryan Wiggins, and the thoughts are as deep as you'd expect them. Go
and
on.
it's endorsed by Jack Handy.
And it's called
The Grocery List.
The Grocery List.
Yeah. And Jack Handy gave me.
I get
gave it
10% of the 3 books that we just sold.
His stamp of approval. But yeah, so I watched that, and I saw that clip a couple months ago, I think, or he told that story separately once. And I thought when I heard it, that was a super funny story. But also, Robert De Niro, you're like, oh no, he's not going to actually bring that up. That's the first thing he brought up when he saw Rob Schneider.
I feel like it is the first thing that he would bring up. And I want to be wrong about that.
Me too.
And I think it's also weird. If I were Robert Schneider, I would not just be Rob Schneider. I would not just be like, he knows who I am. He knows details about me.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people would be like, he's the making copies guy or whatever his specific line is in most of the Adam Sandler movies over the course of the time that he's been in all the movies. But De Niro knows Schneider and knows that he's, I don't know if he's on like a De Niro list, which is not a place most people would want to be. But regardless, the takeaway for me for this is that Rob Schneider is a lot like the rest of us in that if you have been identified as a Trump person, hi, that's me. I don't get to go anywhere in my life. And people, if they know anything about me, they know what I do enough. And chances are the less they know about me, if they know that I have a radio show, they're either interested in it and like-minded, or they just know that I'm a Republican and they want to have absolutely nothing to do with it. And I know right now there are a few of you who are hate listening. Hi. But you go places, anywhere, and you know that when you walk in the room, you're basically wearing a big red hat on your head, even though you almost chose not to participate as to not bring that into the conversation. That's a burden. But I'm glad Rob Schneider showed up, and I'm glad De Niro knows who he is. 2 o'clock hour around the corner. Don't go away.
If you suffer from burning, tingling, or numb feet, pay special attention as we discuss neuropathy with Dr. Patton, D.C. Doctor, what is neuropathy?
Peripheral neuropathy is nerve damage to the feet and legs.
What are the symptoms?
The symptoms are numbness, burning, tingling, pain, and loss of balance.
Is neuropathy treatable?
It's absolutely treatable, and we have amazing results.
If you have burning, tingling, numbness, coldness in your feet or hands or balance issues, call us at Comprehensive Integrated Health today for a nerve damage screening. The screening will tell if you're at risk for serious complications and if you're a candidate for our cutting-edge treatment program. Don't wait until your symptoms are so severe nothing can be done. End-stage neuropathy leaves people confined to walkers, wheelchairs, and even amputations. The first 10 callers will receive a free nerve damage screening. Call 636-538-5188. That's 636-538-5188 for your free nerve damage screening. 636-538-5188.
Have you found the Lutheran school that's near you? We talked a little bit earlier in the show about like school choice. You might have a choice that you didn't even realize exists. Now, of course, if you're a Lutheran, you probably know about the Lutheran school circuit. If you are a Christian and you've thought about an alternative to public school, you might not know about the Lutheran schools that are in your neighborhood, that are in your community. Elementary schools, 34 Lutheran elementary schools in the bi-state region, 4 high schools with another one coming to Franklin County in the fall of 2026. These options exist for you. And these Lutheran schools offer you a Christian education rooted in the Bible. That's what matters, right? With a lot of kids who attend these schools who aren't Lutherans, they're Christians, and those individuals are absolutely welcome in the schools. But they come with great academic education. And they come with a understanding, a moral right and wrong that is biblically based. And they have special education and tuition assistance available as well for you to research on their website at lisastl.org.
KFTK FM Florissant from the Kaufman Townsley St. Louis's Injury Lawyers Studio. Call 314-500-5000.
That's 314-500-5000.
All on the free Odyssey app. Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation. Weather.
Still a bit of a changeable sky across St. Louis this afternoon with a northerly flow. It's cooler, 75 degrees. I'll keep a chance of a spot shower. Don't get excited about it. Tonight, clearing skies and nice, 53. Wednesday, sunny and 75. 49 Wednesday night. Thursday, sunny, 73 for the high Thursday afternoon. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
In suburban Chicago.
On top of hundreds of Illinois National Guard members that President Trump has called up to protect federal agents at ICE facilities amid recent violent protests and attacks on federal agents. And as Illinois Democrats continue escalating ICE resistance here.
Donald Trump is using our service members as political props and as pawns in his illegal effort to militarize our nation's cities.
Governor J.B. Pritzker, as legal action continues over the troop surge.
Fox's Jeff Manasso in Chicago. Texas Governor Greg Abbott telling Fox.
Both the mayor and the governor of Illinois need to own up to the fact that they are not doing their jobs to maintain the safety and security of federal officials who are required to enforce federal law in their city and in their state.
The Illinois governor has called him a tool of the president, backtracking on previous opposition to federalizing Guard troops. Abbott says that was when the Texas Guard had to focus on handling the surge of illegal immigrants over the southern border during the Biden administration. House Speaker Mike Johnson urging Senate passage of short-term spending to reopen the government on day 7 of a shutdown.
Real pain is being felt by real people around this country because Chuck Schumer and the Democrats over here are playing political games.
Democrats still demanding talks on health care funding, especially expiring subsidies for Obamacare. Georgia Republican Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene is concerned about that, too.
In a post on X, she said she fears if the ACA tax credits expire when 2025 ends, insurance premiums will double for her family and others. She proclaimed herself America only on this issue.
Fox's Gernal Scott, Greene critical of fellow Republicans for not having a plan against higher insurance rates. America is listening to Fox News.
You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and help strengthen your immune response. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Schedule in minutes at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
You ever wonder why Verizon charges twice as much as Pure Talk for the same basic service? Think it might have something to do with the fact that Verizon spends $12 billion a year on advertising and promotion? That's billion with a B? Yeah, Pure Talk doesn't spend that kind of money on commercials. That's why they can offer unlimited talk, text, and plenty of data on a blazing fast 5G network for just $25 a month. Save an additional 50% off your first month when you dial pound 250 and say the words micro. That's pound 250, micro.
Friday. Fox News Digital caught up with Democrat Senator Tim Kaine, who says he is standing by his friend.
The statements that he made were indefensible, but I've known Jay Jones for 25 years. I think those statements were not in character.
Jones's Republican opponent, Attorney General Jason Miyares, says he is personally disturbed by all this.
Fox's Alexandria Hoff. Early voting already underway in Virginia. President Trump among the Republicans who called on Jones to drop out. A jury awards millions in a talc verdict against a pharmaceutical giant.
A Los Angeles jury has ordered Johnson & Johnson to pay $966 million to the family of a woman who died from mesothelioma, finding the company liable in the latest lawsuit alleging its baby powder products cause cancer. The family of May Moore, who died in 2021, sued the company, claiming its talc baby powder products contained asbestos fibers that caused her rare cancer. The jury ordered the company to pay $16 million in compensatory damages, $950 million in punitive damages. That verdict could be reduced on appeal. The company has said its products are safe, do not contain asbestos, and do not cause cancer.
Fox's Lillian
Air
Wu
Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation, weather.
Still a bit of a changeable sky across St. Louis this afternoon with a northerly flow. It's cooler, 75 degrees. I'll keep a chance of a spot shower. Don't get excited about it. Tonight, clearing skies and nice, 53. Wednesday, sunny and 75. 49 Wednesday night. Thursday, sunny, 73 for the high Thursday afternoon. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
The Annie Fry Show is sponsored by Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation. Time to get ready for cold weather and schedule your heating system check. Get not just your heating system, but your entire HVAC system checked for $19 a month with the Preferred Partner Plan. Visit aircomfortservice.com.
Annie Fry, Ryan Wiggins, Brad Ring.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride. What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
For goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Fry Show on 97.1 FM Talk.
So earlier today, Pam Bondi was in front of the Senate Judiciary. How much of that did you see, Ryan? How much were you able to take in?
Very little.
Okay.
I did not watch much.
Did you get to watch or see any highlights from Josh Hawley?
Not Josh Hawley, no.
Oh my gosh, I got a treat for you. We're gonna listen to the senator from Missouri here, Josh Hawley, as he talks about this. This story is outrageous. We touched on it a little bit before, but the latest news here is from Fox News. The FBI has already terminated employees and abolished the CR-15 squad just one day after it was revealed that several Republicans' private communications and phone calls have been tracked. FBI Director Kash Patel on Tuesday announced the actions the Bureau had taken in response to the revelation of the, quote, baseless monitoring. Baseless monitoring. During the Biden administration and promised more actions to come. Patel said in a statement, quote, "We are cleaning up a diseased temple 3 decades in the making. 3 decades in the making. Identifying the rot, removing those who weaponized law enforcement for political purposes, and those who do not meet the standards of this mission while restoring integrity to the FBI. I promised reform and I intend to deliver it." I can't help but think of what this Trump administration is doing, metaphorically speaking, is like a controlled burn. You just gotta get it all out, and you can't do anything to rectify it until you know that you've gotten all of the rot out.
I do real estate on the side. What this reminds me of is getting into a house. So you get a house that it looks pretty good on the outside, and you go, oh, it's got good bones, and maybe we could salvage some of the inside. It looks pretty good, but it needs some rehab. That you'd hope that Trump going into the second term, you go, yeah, this place, it's got some walls that need to be removed. It's got some things, definitely needs paint and stuff.
But it's doable.
But it's doable. And then the more you start to remove walls, the more you find out, oh my gosh, there's mold all over this house.
Termites.
Everything you could think of.
Poor construction.
And so you're like, shoot, I hope we can salvage the bones here.
I think I just bought a lot.
And does the roof need to come off? I mean, it gets worse and worse the more you peel back.
Well, in this wiretapping, we spoke with Congresswoman Ann Wagner about it, and I just gave her the opportunity to kind of react to that. Like, this makes you mad, right? And she was, yeah, this definitely makes you mad. Kash Patel said, "We promised you this is FBI Deputy Director Dan Bongino replied, "We promised you transparency and accountability. We will continue to deliver on those promises. You deserve better." This is part of that process. And I think it's important here in the state of Missouri specifically to let you hear from your senator who was among the names of those people who were listened to. I saw, who was it? It's going to bother me. Somebody was talking about, was it? Oh, I'm going to go find out who it was saying that if Donald Trump lost this election, that the wiretapping that was being done here would have contributed to some sort of indictment against these people in conspiracy. Because this was around the January 6th stuff, that they were going to intend to use the information that was gathered here in some sort of indictment against those individuals. And Josh Hawley, he just, he's kind of, how would you say, Senator Hawley about it.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Attorney General Bondi, good to see you. Welcome. I've been listening closely in this hearing, and I've heard over and over from my Democrat colleagues concerns about targeting political enemies, and they've accused you of all manner of things and the current president. I've also heard them said, and I just wrote it down because I wanted to be sure I heard it correctly. I've heard them say that Joe Biden never targeted his political enemies. Joe Biden never directed his attorney general to target his political opponents. That's interesting, because I could have sworn that yesterday we learned that the FBI tapped my phone. Let's look at it. We've got a list. Tapped my phone, tapped Lindsey Graham's phone, tapped Marsha Blackburn's phone, tapped 5 other phones of United States senators. Gee, it sure looks like targeting political opponents to me, and yet I haven't heard a word from that side of the dais about any concern whatsoever. We've got nothing but concerns today, but no concern at all for a Justice Department that is tapping the phones of sitting United States senators because who knows why. They don't like them. They're members of the opposition party. They're Republicans. They're conservatives. You've seen this document, Attorney General Bondi. What was going on here? Who ordered this? Who ordered the tapping of the phones of United States senators?
Senator Hawley, I cannot discuss the details of that right now for very good reason.
You're going to do a thorough investigation into this, I trust. Is that correct?
We will be looking at all aspects of this, and I have talked to Director Patel at length about
And
this.
you're going to figure out who was involved in this, who signed off on it, who knew about it. You're going to get to the bottom of all of it. Is it correct?
Yes, and I've spoken to Director Patel about it, and he is committed to doing this.
Well, I can tell you, we already know many of the details. We already know that this was ordered by the special prosecutor, Jack Smith, who reported directly to the Attorney General of the United States, Merrick Garland. And we know that Jack Smith was on his witch hunt because he was directed to do so by the President of the United States, Joe Biden. Let's just remember, Let's take a walk down memory lane. April 2nd, 2022, the New York Times. Garland faces growing pressure. The Times says as recently as late last year, that would have been 2021, Mr. Biden confided to his inner circle he believed former President Trump was a threat to democracy and should be prosecuted. It goes on to say that Biden was frustrated with Garland and wanted him to take decisive action against Trump. Here's what we're talking about. Trump, of course, was a private citizen at the time. So he appoints his own hitman, Jack Smith, who goes after the president, former president, who goes after members of this body. You know, the thing about it, though, that really strikes me is that it didn't stop with members of the United States Senate. Did it, Attorney General Bondi? It didn't stop here at all. I mean, just as egregious, maybe more so than tapping the phones of U.S. senators, is this memo that I know you've seen before. Let's just look at it again. This is an FBI memo from the same time period, I might add, from the same time period, in which the Federal Bureau of Investigation attempts to recruit informants into Catholic parishes in this country. So here you have an administration that is activating the FBI against its political opponents and tapping the phones of United States senators. Can I just say that again for my colleagues, for the benefit of my colleagues on the other side of the dais? Tapping the phones of United States senators. This isn't hypothetical. This isn't maybe what will you do in the future. This isn't, oh, gee, can you imagine a situation? This happened. This happened. And this happened. The targeting of Catholics in this country because Joe Biden and his FBI didn't like Catholics who went to a certain kind of mass. I mean, good God in heaven, what is happening to this country? What happened under Joe Biden? Or then how about this? The infamous school board memo, where Merrick Garland, at the direction of the White House, issued a memo activating the FBI's counterterrorism division against parents who attended school board meetings and had the temerity to ask what their kids were being taught. And some of those parents were treated like this. Let's just remember. Let's remember how parents were treated. Treated like this man. That's right. A parent at a school board meeting, I think in Virginia, who was drug out of the school board meeting. He's bloodied there. You can see it. And what was the response of Joe Biden's DOJ and FBI? It was to issue a memorandum saying that people like this ought to be investigated by the counterterrorism unit. And unbelievably, they were. They were. Or how about this? Let's remember Mark Houck and the pro-lifers who were prosecuted for what? For going to a clinic, an abortion clinic, and praying on a sidewalk outside an abortion clinic. This is Mark Houck and his beautiful family at Mass. This man, at the direction of Joe Biden's FBI, this man had an FBI SWAT team come to his door in the early morning hours with his beautiful children there, terrorizing them with weapons drawn. He was then arrested and prosecuted. Unfortunately, a jury acquitted him. This is what was happening under Joe Biden. United States senators spied upon. Former presidents, the political opponents of the president at the time, targeted, prosecuted. Pro-lifers, targeted, prosecuted. Catholics, targeted, prosecuted. 92 conservative organizations put under surveillance, targeted for potential prosecution. Gee, I don't know. Would you call that an example of weaponization, Attorney General Bondi? Do you think that's a fair characterization?
Senator Hawley, that is the ultimate weaponization. And weaponization under Donald Trump has ended. It has ended. Harmeet Dillon is running our civil rights unit, and she is doing an incredible job. No longer will parents be targeted. No longer will parents who care about whether their elementary school children have to read a transgender book be targeted and told they cannot have any say in their child's education. That has ended under this administration. People can worship freely, whether they're Catholics at synagogues or Muslims. Everyone can worship freely. That was the ultimate weaponization. They were targeting Catholics. No longer. They have been targeting so many American citizens throughout this country. And Senator Hawley, you have been a champion of this, and thank you for being a champion of that. But under Donald Trump's watch, it has ended.
You know, I think about some of the abuses of power in this country's history, and there's been sadly a lot of them by members of the executive branch over the years, whether it's Watergate, whether it's what J. Edgar Hoover did in his time at the FBI, spying on many public figures, RFK, MLK, JFK, you name it. And I just have to say, what we now know happened in the last 4 years under this administration surpasses all of that. It surpasses all of it, not just for the interference in the legislative branch, not just for the blatant disregard for the separation of powers, not just for the blatant disregard for the First Amendment, but for the targeting of ordinary American citizens who can't afford lawyers, who can't afford to mount a defense, who when the FBI knocks at their door or comes with the SWAT team, they don't know what to do. It is absolutely a disgrace. It is a stain on the history of this country and on the conscience of this country, what this administration did in the last 4 years. So here's what I think needs to happen. Madam Attorney General, I think we need a special prosecutor to be appointed whose sole responsibility will be to get to the bottom of what has happened in every instance that I have just named. I think we need to know exactly who approved the wiretaps on United States senators, who knew about it, what agents were involved at DOJ or the FBI. I think we need to know exactly who signed off on the Catholic memo, the spying memo, who was involved with it, how far did it go. I think we need to know exactly who authorized the prosecution of Mark Houck, who terrorized pro-lifers and tried to intimidate them. I think we need to know. And Mr. Chairman, this committee needs to do oversight hearings. We need to have thorough hearings into what has happened these last 4 years and this abuse that has now just been uncovered, because we have to ensure that it stops. As you just said, Attorney General Bondi, we have to ensure that it stops. This chapter in American history needs to come to a close, never to be opened again. The use of the most powerful law enforcement bodies in the world against ordinary citizens and political opponents must end once and for all. And we have a chance to do it, and it needs to be done with a thorough investigation, full transparency, and those who violated laws need to be prosecuted.
Senator Hawley, state of Missouri, well done on electing that guy. I don't very frequently play almost 10-minute long clips, but that's the whole case right there. That's from start to finish, the whole case of the demonization of the right by the bureaucratic left. Those people who install bureaucrats into the Washington, D.C. federal government swamp, and they do this crap in the background against duly elected officials of the United States for political gain. In a completely unrelated question as we go to a break, the YouTube live chat poll, do you believe crimes of treason have been committed? Yes or no? Go vote. We'll be right back. Point Pest Control, that's Point with an E, pointpestcontrol.com. They're at my house today because they come out quarterly and they're getting rid of the October spiders out of my house. I don't have spiders in my house because they do come quarterly. And if you want to be a preferred plan or premium service plan subscriber like I am, all you got to do is call them at 636-798-0023. And don't worry about having any of those bugs in your house anymore. I got 4 kids, 2 dogs. We have a lot coming in and out of our house all the time. And it's like magic. We don't have bugs. And I credit Point Pest Control for that. It's spider season, of course, as the weather gets a little wetter and a little cooler. If these critters start to seek refuge in your house, tell them no and send Point Pest Control after them. Spiders, crickets, mice, ants, whatever your problem is, Point Pest Control can be there to help you solve it. 636-798-0023. That's 636-798-0023. And do not forget to mention my name because it's going to save you a little bit of money. If you mention Annie Fry, you'll get an extra 10% discount on the top of any specials that they have going currently. Point with an E, pointpestcontrol.com.
Join us for our annual Trade Day sale. Hook up your camper and join us Thursday through Sunday, October 9th through the 11th at both of our locations at 9001 Dunn Road in Hazelwood or 971 Wilmer Road in Wentzville for barbecue, beverages, and a free trade evaluation. We guarantee at least $1,000 over the national average for your trade-in with purchase of any new RV. Your trade will never be worth more than it is today. We will have fall festivities going on all weekend. Don't miss the fun and spooky good savings. Check out all of our new 2025 and 2026 RVs by Jayco, Keystone, Fleetwood, and Bontrager Outdoors. Mention this 97.1 ad for a chance to win a $500 gift certificate to our parts store. For 3 years in a row, we have won the best RV dealer at St. Louis Post-Dispatch Headliners. And we are your #1 Jayco fifth wheel dealer in the country. Our commitment to you starts when you enter the door. Go one better. Go Apache Village RV in Hazelwood and in Wentzville, October 9th through 11th. Trade value dependent upon condition of trade unit at time of delivery.
The team at Ricken Financial want to help you make educated and informed decisions about your retirement strategies.
Why not rely on individuals who can optimize your thinking and optimize your plan and optimize all the resources and show you what's all available to be able to make a truly informed decision?
Call Ricken Financial today, 314-207-6211 or online at rickenfinancial.com and join us for Kickin' with the Rickens, Sunday at 1 p.m. here on 97.1 FM Talk.
Investment advisory products and services made available through Impact Partnership Wealth, LLC, IPW, a registered investment advisor.
If you need a new garage door, this could be your lucky day. Entries are now open for the $5,000 sweepstakes at Overhead Door Company of St. Louis. The winner will be chosen at random to receive $5,000 towards new garage doors, openers, or front entry doors of their choice. Deadline to enter is the end of the month to win the $5,000 sweepstakes with Overhead Door Company of St. Louis. Enter now at overheaddoorsstlouis.com. You can't win if you don't enter at overheaddoorsstlouis.com.
Mark Cox here. Let me introduce you to my friends at the Lit Cigar Lounge in St. Louis, where luxury meets comfort. Premium hand-rolled cigars, an extensive selection of rare bourbons and whiskeys and craft cocktails. It's comfortable for non-smokers, too. They have a state-of-the-art ventilation system. They have private lockers and live music every Friday night, perfect for date nights or business meetings or just winding down. Visit litstl.com.
Sponsored by Progressive. We make the claims process easy so you could get back on the road in no time. It's why over 43 million drivers trust Progressive. See for yourself at progressive.com.
Join us for our annual Trade Day sale. Hook up your camper and join us Thursday through Sunday, October 9th through the 11th at both of our locations at 9001 Dunn Road in Hazelwood or 971 Wilmer Road in Wentzville for barbecue, beverages, and a free trade evaluation. We guarantee at least $1,000 over the national average for your trade-in with purchase of any new RV. Your trade will never be worth more than it is today. We will have fall festivities going on all weekend. Don't miss the fun and spooky good savings. Check out all of our new 2025 and 2026 RVs by Jayco, Keystone, Fleetwood, and Bontrager Outdoors. Mention this 97.1 ad for a chance to win a $500 gift certificate to our parts store. For 3 years in a row, we have won the best RV dealer at St. Louis Post-Dispatch Headliners. And we are your #1 Jayco fifth wheel dealer in the country. Our commitment to you starts when you enter the door. Go one better. Go Apache Village RV in Hazelwood and in Wentzville, October 9th through 11th. Trade value dependent upon condition of trade unit at time of delivery.
This is the Annie Fry Show on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Hold up. Check it out.
Sports and local.
Do a job, Ethan.
Yeah, I love it.
There it is.
Oh, man, that's going to be in my book. I was talking with a friend last night about writing a book about youth sports. The stupid things people say. Gosh, they say some stupid things.
It's just going to be a book of stupid things people say at youth sports?
I could do a coffee table book of dumb things people say to their kids. Just the phrases.
You could do a Chicken Soup for the Soul type book of just stories of people that got in arguments at
Oh, I could
youth
do
sports.
that. I could do that. And I got people listening right now are like, am I going to be in the book? I'll be in the book. I'll write stories on myself. I've done stupid things
Do you
as a
have
parent.
to tell stories about yourself or other people that you saw?
Both.
I think other people that you saw is a better one.
The names, I'll tell my stories. I've done stupid things. I have regrets.
Okay.
I'd put my stories in with other people's.
Okay.
But I'd love to tell some stories. I would love to tell some stories. All right, I got to go. I got to write this book right now.
Okay.
Ethan, do a job, man. Do a job.
The Missouri Attorney General is moving forward with the case to remove St. Louis Sheriff Alfred Montgomery from office, filing a motion for a partial summary judgment today in the ongoing court case. Attorney General Catherine Hanaway, relatively new to the job, is now requesting that the court issue a judgment on 3 counts of alleged misconduct outlined in the state's quo warranto.
I had to practice saying that.
Petition.
That's also the correct. Pronunciation.
Thank you.
job.
It outlines 6 counts
Brad,
alleging.
Ethan learned 2 new words yesterday. Go on.
I did indeed.
One of them was peril.
What was the other one, Ryan?
Phallic.
No, I was just leave it for the people. You didn't have to say it again. Shame on me.
He didn't know.
He's like,
Now he
what is
does.
that? And then Ryan's like, oh, let me tell you.
I said, come over here by
He
the
actually told me to go.
Come over here by the campfire. Let's have a talk.
Scoot
young
on
man.
over here.
Back to the quo warranto, please. Petition. This is a high-class establishment. That's why we say that.
Said, come here, I'll
petition like
show
that.
you what it is.
No.
Oh.
Hey, no, that's too far.
That's what you just
that's
said.
way too
That's
far.
literally what you just
I
said.
was trying to teach
you're
you.
running out of time,
just
Ethan. You
what
better
you
plow
said.
through.
As
Yeah,
like
you got
a counselor.
56 seconds.
6 counts alleging misconduct by Montgomery, including nepotism, unlawfully detaining acting St. Louis Jail Commissioner Tammy Ross, unlawfully detaining and disarming private security guard Daryl Wilson, failure to transport inmates for physical and mental health treatment, illegal use of the office for personal gain, and financial mismanagement of the office. So we'll have to see where exactly this goes.
Quo warranto. I worked hard to learn that because I did not know how to say that.
I had to learn how to say
One more story
petition.
before we get to X's and Y's.
Yes, let's go ahead and we'll do this one. St. Louis, Six Flags St. Louis is currently facing some concerns about potential closure due to financial struggles of its parent company, Six Flags Entertainment Corporation.
So this is bigger than St. Louis?
This is
Gotta be.
specifically to St. Louis, but it's not all of them are concerned for closure right now, but it is because of the parent company struggles. Last year, Six Flags and its longtime rival Cedar Fair merged to create Six Flags Entertainment Corporation, which reported a $100 million net loss in its second quarter. Attendance was down across its 42 amusement and water parks, contributing to financial difficulties. Despite the overall decline in attendance, unofficial tracking methods show that attendance at Six Flags St. Louis remains steady. Eureka officials have stated that Six Flags is investing in repairs, concession upgrades, and new rides to keep the park entertaining.
Way to do a job. Way to do a job. When you say that after the fact that something happened, that means that you probably are out. But maybe there was an RBI or the runners moved.
And I am out now.
Get out of here. Way to do a job. You come back in and we can talk about boys and girls.
Been a pleasure,
So you
guys.
didn't get a hit. You didn't further the inning yourself, but you got something
No,
done.
you furthered your participation advanced the cause for your team, but you happen to be not on a base right now because you did a job. Right? Way to bunt.
Sure.
Good sack, fly.
Yeah.
Way
nice
to do
sack.
a job, Ethan. You can always count on you. Not you so much, Ryan.
I snuck one in there. You have
What'd
to
you
listen
say?
to it later. Don't
I will.
worry about it.
What'd you say?
No.
What'd you say?
There's a good baseball joke that I haven't ever used before.
I might watch it back. All right, X's and Y's next. Trisha, come here.
You've got your whole life ahead of you, so choose a Medicare plan you can count on. And that's what you get with a Medicare Advantage plan from United Healthcare. With more than 45 years' experience serving its members, United Healthcare has plans with low monthly premiums that fit your life today and as your needs change tomorrow. The Medicare annual enrollment period ends December 7th, so go to uhc.com/Medicare today. United Healthcare Medicare plans. It's Medicare coverage Missouri can count on.
CiviaLaw.com. If you need help to get through those big transitions in life, you probably do. There's a lot of complications to it, questions that need to be answered that might be questions you didn't even know need to be asked. Civia Law in Missouri and Illinois can guide you in a very, very comforting way, a trustworthy way. That's why my husband and I went through our trust planning process with Todd Civia and Civia Law. If you're looking to have your will, your powers of attorney looked over, things change. I mean, you should really have it looked over every 3 years. How long has it been since you looked at your estate plan? Todd Civia can help you. And if you call right now, if you're one of the first 10 callers to call this number and mention my name, he's going to give you a free strategy session, which is a $300 value. 833-995-WILL. That's 833-995-WILL. Call Todd Civia and tell him you'd like to sit down and plan that strategy and give him my name and get that strategy session free. 833-995-WILL. CiviaLaw.com.
Hi, I'm Nancy Cartwright. You may know me better as the voice of Bart Simpson.
On Simpsons Declassified, we're diving into the mysteries that keep The Simpsons forever young. Have you ever wondered how The Simpsons regularly predicts future events? Who better to ask than the show's creators, performers, and writers, the celebrity guests? Be sure to follow and listen to Simpsons Declassified wherever you get your podcasts.
Hi, I'm Bob Kershaw with Retirement Advisory Group. Are you worried about market volatility? Are you concerned your money won't last you through retirement?
Hi, I'm Tammy Kershaw, and as a family-owned business, we are committed to protecting your retirement, whether you're nearing retirement or already retired. We have a lot of folks that aren't aware of all the new investment choices that are available, which give you growth and protection from losses at the same time. Are you aware of all the fees that you are currently paying? We can show you how to avoid those fees. So come in now for your free retirement review and get a second opinion on your retirement plan. And just for coming in, you'll get a copy of our latest edition book, Your Key to a Worry-Free Retirement. Let us show you how to retire with confidence.
We are proud to say we haven't lost a penny of our clients' money in 39 years, and we won't lose a penny of yours either. Let our family help your family. Call us now at 314-993-9494 or go online to retirementkey.com. That's retirementkey.com.
YouTube live chat poll. Do you believe crimes of treason have been committed? Yes or no? And also, we're having a party, and guess who's going to be there?
Do the party like that, too. In a world.
In a world where a radio station was able to survive 25 years.
Now that is a show to see.
You'll want to be there. It's a huge party, and it's coming.
Don't give up.
To Lit Cigar Lounge. Guess who's going to be there?
Hey.
Trisha. Trisha's going to be there.
Heyo.
Yep, and the rest of us too. But
Trisha's in charge.
If you want to see Trisha, she'll be there, and that's the most important thing. And you can get in for free by just RSVPing. It is on the 23rd of this month. You can also get, I think, tell me if I'm wrong, Trisha, there are still VIP tickets.
Just a few, like not many at all.
Not many at all.
Not many
all
at
right,
all. So if you want those, grab them.
Right
well,
now.
this promo's definitely going to do it.
All right. 2:33. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating, Air Conditioning, Electrical, and Plumbing.
It's time for a $98 furnace tune-up.
Midwest Made. 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative. X's and Y's.
All right, it's X's and Y's. This is where we talk about the difference between boys and girls and try to get to the bottom of why is the opposite sex like that. Ryan says that he has a ton of questions and very little answers, so we'll let him go first.
Okay, who, why, and when? All right, let me restart.
Where?
And how?
At the beginning.
Okay. Are girls cooler? Are girls cooler when they have an older brother? And that is for everybody to answer. We'll start with the girls.
Are girls cooler when they have an older brother?
Yep.
Can I ask a counter question, which is what about an older brother makes a girl cooler? Are you just thinking the proximity toward a man makes a girl cooler?
Yeah, why not an older sister, a sibling? Is it just a sibling question, or is it you think boys are cooler than girls?
I think what I'm asking is,
it seems like there's
are girls cooler when they have an older brother?
Are girls cooler if you just like hard stop there? Then yes.
Oh, I
When
guess
they have
that,
an
I mean,
older
you can answer
brother.
however you want. If that's your answer, then that's up to you.
I think older brothers, I have an older sister, and so I don't know what it's like to have an older brother. I have a younger brother. I think that older brothers can keep the environment a little more chill than like growing up than girls. Girls are a little more high maintenance, and I don't mind saying that. And if you guys say it, then I'll fight you.
Excitable. It's
Girls are more
it's true.
excitable.
Yeah,
and high maintenance.
we just get like.
I think that when the boys, and when I mean the boys, I'm talking about the brother and his friends, are cool with the younger sister, that does wonderful things for the socialite nature of the younger sister. But I think that a younger sister has to grow a thick skin in a way that they might not if they don't have an older brother.
Okay. Did you answer this question yet, Trisha?
No, but yes, I think that there's probably a more down-to-earth thing going on. Does it have to be an older brother?
Yes, that's the question.
Then sure. Yeah, I guess so. I don't have one, but
I think so.
I would say I think my sister's pretty cool. So she has an older brother. It's probably my fault. So you're welcome, Rachel.
What?
My sister's
She's talking specifically about her own, his own
my
sister.
sister's cool because she has an older brother. Me.
You didn't
She
really.
actually
You
has-
didn't. You made the statement. You didn't really make the case for it.
Don't have to.
Okay. All
It's
right.
inherent.
Why
She
do you?
has two
Why
older
do you think
brothers.
that?
I think every girl I've ever dated had an older brother. And I was like, oh, I wonder if it's because there's like a personality thing there where girls are more girly if they don't have a brother. I don't know the answer.
So, are you saying you don't want girly girls?
Yeah, I don't necessarily like girly girls as much. Or girls that, I don't know. I've never dated a girl who was part of like a girls' club in their family. They always had brothers. And I don't know why that is, but I've gravitated toward girls who had brothers.
Okay. Sounds to me like you were more interested in the brothers than the girls.
I just
but
wanted to
we
hang
could
out
just
with
move
those
on from
dudes.
right there. Brad,
They were cool.
X's and Y's question.
Yeah. How often do girls flirt to get what they want?
That's a good question.
Well, I want to know because
The answer is a lot.
Like I pay attention to how girls treat me whenever my wife and I go out to a restaurant, or if it's just me and the waitress, or the bartender treats my brother, or something like that. But also, like whenever I was less attractive, more chonky, like girls
As
didn't.
opposed to now.
As opposed to now, I'm less chonky.
Very
now.
attractive.
Very attractive. Yeah. All right. He said it, not me. But girls
Are you
would.
trying to get to his sister?
No.
I heard she's cool.
And there's no real reason behind it. He's cool because of Brad.
Girls never flirted with me unless they wanted something, but it still felt pretty good whenever they would flirt with me. So my question is how often do girls flirt to get what they want?
Counter question: what is flirting?
She always counter questions.
I know. I wish you would.
Well, that's because you guys both are like, it was October 3rd, 1992, and she hurt my feelings. And then you ask a generic question.
Annie, just be cool, man.
Tell she doesn't have an older brother.
I don't actually know.
Never needed one. I'm doing just fine. I got a younger brother, and he keeps me in line.
To answer what is flirting is really hard for me because it happens so rarely that it's just usually whenever a girl talked to me and was nice to me.
A girl talks to him. Well, she must be flirting.
I know. Like, I don't
assume
think
when people are
No.
Okay, counter question to that.
Okay, here we go. Just be cool.
If a woman is being, or a girl,
if
or,
we had older brothers, we'd be way more agreeable. Go on,
I would,
Trisha.
yeah, I would understand this better if I had an older brother. But if a woman is being nice to you and friendly, is there an assumption that she is flirting?
No. In reality, no, not for me. I would never think that highly of myself.
Yes.
I mean, yes.
Yes.
Yeah, but
Pretty
that's
much.
Every time I come in and
but
I'm
Brad,
like,
you're saying
"Good morning,
No,
Ryan."
not
You're like,
you.
man,
Brad,
get
you're
outta
saying
here.
that a girl flirting with you has to do with how you feel about yourself. That has nothing to do with what the girl's intention is.
Right. I would mess that up every
I'm
time.
just wondering if there's like some misinterpretation.
My
between
default
what
my
flirting
default
is
setting is never she is actually flirting with me. She's just being nice. Is always my default setting, to the point where whenever I would have a girl flirt with me, I would miss it, and then somebody come up and be like, "Dude, she was
The
totally
original
flirting
question
with you."
doesn't really imply that, though.
No.
I remember when I was in music radio, there was a record label rep who was a young woman, and I had just been married. But and she was just talking to
And
me.
she needed a pen from you, and she said, "Please," and you're like, "Gosh, she's
probably.
talking to me."
Smiled and
She,
was
oh
like,
yeah,
"Hey,
she
Ryan,
was
good
talking to me for a
morning."
long time, and she was like, the body language was all about it. And I was like, I said to my coworker, I'm like, "Hey man, I think she's like flirting with me, but I'm married now, you know." And he goes, "No, she isn't." And I was like, "Why?" And he goes, "She's a record label rep, my friend. She is trying to sell you songs." And I was like, "I'm not even the guy that decides that." He goes, "She doesn't care."
So, back to my original question: how often do girls flirt to get what they want?
Yeah, but again, counter question: how often do guys think that girls are flirting just because they're being nice or selling? Like, if a guy is laying on a hard sell because their job is to sell music, girls aren't like, "He's totally into me." Ever.
So I mean, my answer to that is never for
Right.
me
I don't-
personally. And I was working in like an industry setting where it could come off like, hey, I'm trying to like upsell you on this perfect margarita maybe, but like I'm not flirting with you any differently than I'd flirt with a woman or whatever, if that's what you want to call it, flirting. I'm just like being nice and trying to sell something in that, or I'm coming in the morning and being nice to Ryan and saying hi. Like, is that being interpreted as flirting?
Quick Rick says, Annie, what do you consider flirting? There has to be, like, there's got to be an expressed interest, but also the setting has to dictate that flirting would be appropriate's a hard word because I would say appropriate, and of course there's flirtation happening in the workplace when it would be inappropriate. But like, I don't know, when would you flirt, Trisha? Like when you were interested in the guy.
I mean,
not because you like, that's like prostitution. I don't know.
We're not doing prostitution on a regular
I mean,
basis.
we aren't. We don't speak for all women.
Sure, and it's fine. You do you, ladies.
Is
and gentlemen.
Well, have you seen women do this?
Like lay it on thick to get something that they want?
Yeah.
Let me ask you this.
Less in real life and more in the movies. But
If a woman comes up to you and she goes, va va voom, why don't you come up and see me sometime? That's flirting, right?
it depends on the context. Not necessarily.
That's
no.
prostitution.
Or she just wants you to come in and like buy a drink.
I guess it depends on the context.
Well,
if
I
she's
need
a pharmaceutical rep and she says that.
She's got Advil in her hand.
Sell you, yeah.
Brad, what constitutes, like, what is the intent of flirting?
Well, I guess
like anything that a woman says that makes a man feel good about themselves.
No, I would say it would be leading the man to think that she was interested. It sounds to me like what you're saying is that for it to be flirting, it has to be genuine.
Yeah, there has to be some intention behind it.
Like real
in my
intention.
opinion. Yeah.
But girls could. Well, I guess what I'm asking about is that
Can
false
you fake
type.
the intention?
Yeah.
I would not. So I don't know.
Are we
Maybe
okay
I
with
can't
them
answer
faking
that.
the intention, Brad?
Yes.
Yes.
Trisha, do you have a question?
Sure. Gentlemen, do you ever, and this may be not fair to you guys, but do you guys ever think about your schedules, like dentists, doctors, kids things? Like at any point in time, are you like, I think I've got a dentist appointment next week?
That doesn't seem really gender specific. Yes, the answer is yes.
You do?
Yeah, all the time. Think about my
Do
schedule
you
all the
do
time.
your own schedule, Brad?
Mm-hmm.
You do?
Mm-hmm.
You call and make your own appointments and things?
Yeah, whenever the time allows, yeah. If not, I will ask Terry to do it. But
No, that's a different question. My
Okay.
mom still makes all my appointments.
Ryan, you make your own
Is it
appointments?
because she's a girl?
I don't know. She still does it, and I say, thank you, Mommy. Thank you.
Annie, you make the appointments in your house?
It's 50-50.
I make all of ours. I don't think it's like I don't. There are other things I don't do. But
Since
I keep our
Jared's
schedule.
Jared's a teacher, he has certain holes in his schedule, like when he goes to lunch or if he has a prep period and he can make a phone call if it's a 3-minute
Do you
conversation.
remind him to do it?
I mean, I'm thinking larger scale way more than he is.
Mm-hmm.
But it's at least 50-50. If not, he might do some more of that stuff. Like for me, I can't do anything like that from basically 11:30 to 3. And then outside of that, I can pick up where it needs to be. But we talk a lot about it. We game plan. Twice a day, we have about a 20-minute phone call where we're like, okay, it's like
A big puzzle.
it's a
you
huge
put
puzzle.
together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, here's my question for you guys individually. Name some gender roles that you think should stay gender roles. Some things that should be men's jobs and some things that should be women's jobs, and they shouldn't cross over.
Men's jobs.
You can both weigh in on what should be men's jobs or men's roles.
Well, I'll just throw out my
first.
first one. UFC fighter.
You've never seen a UFC fight by a chick,
I have. They're kind of weird to watch.
but you watched him.
Feels
I have
uncomfortable.
watched. Yeah. I feel bad for them a little bit.
Why? Because the other chick is beating
'Cause
her
they're
up.
beating each other up.
Yeah, I don't
Better
like girls.
fight.
I don't like girls punching one another.
Yeah.
So should they have to stop?
Yes.
Because of how it makes the guys.
I like how
Because
you
it makes us
hesitated.
feel
How
bad.
it makes the men feel.
Well, of course they
Due
shouldn't
to
have
the
to stop.
emotional
stop.
state of the men involved, ladies, you're going to have to stop kicking the crap out of each other.
What's a job that only a woman could do? You've got to have answers to this.
Oh, you go first.
Oh, I'm trying to think. I mean, just a pop quiz.
Not just jobs, but just like roles,
Roles.
responsibilities. Maybe there are none.
I'm sure. I mean, there are roles, but I can't think of any that you'd say, "Oh, absolutely not."
Absolutely not. Yeah.
Ron says bricklayers.
I'll
don't
say
know why a
this.
woman couldn't do that.
I'll say this: ministers, pastors.
My mom was a stonemason
In between making her appointments, she's
and working at KZK.
a complete and total.
She could do it all.
Julie Tristan is a woman of many talents. Sorry, Julie. Once again,
positive too.
She walked by me the other day and goes, "Hi, son."
Yeah, she's in on the joke now.
She's in on it now.
Anything?
I can't come up with anything that's exclusive.
I would say a minister. I don't think there should be female ministers. I would think that men should be the pastors of churches.
All right,
Why?
Paul.
Because the Bible says it.
You want to elaborate?
Well, the Bible talks about men being in the position of the headship and therefore bearing all the responsibility of the direction of the church, and that no woman should be in that position above him. And so I don't completely understand it, but I know that that's what the scriptures say, so I defer to that.
Oh, I thought of one. Birthing persons only should be women. I know that's controversial, but I don't think men should be pushing out any babies. Babes in the traditional King James version.
It's the eyes for me.
Well, then you
Brad's
gotta tune
giving
in.
scripture to our whole audience, of which some people are probably female ministers, but it is in the Bible. And you're like, but birthing persons.
Also, chest feeding. You should only have women doing that.
Trisha, can you think of anything
No,
that is exclusive?
No, my first thought is things that require a lot of manual labor. Like if your job description says must be able to lift 75 to 100 pounds. But if you've got a girl that can do that and she wants to do that, then cool.
What about combat?
Yeah.
UFC combat.
Shut up. I'm trying to work here. Gosh.
I think that kind of goes back to the heavy lifting thing.
What
for
about
me.
radio show co-host? Because I'm making some decisions over here.
In the octagon.
Julia, I need a word. Come here.
Do you have to answer this question?
I don't know that there is.
Okay, so your answer is I asked an unanswerable question.
No, I think the answer is that there aren't exclusive things. Like what Brad is saying, he's saying that from a religious standpoint. I think that if women want to be ministers and they think that the scripture says that they can be, that is a religious and a God issue that they will have to reconcile. They're either right or wrong on that, and they can look to scripture to justify it. I belong to the Lutheran Church Missouri Synod, and they do not have female pastors, and I don't have a problem with it. But I don't think that, I'm not talking about making laws or anything here, but I can't think of anything. We could talk about it more another time, but Charlie Kirk, I was watching an episode between Charlie and Erica Kirk, and they were talking about their relationship and everything. And he believed vehemently that women shouldn't even know anything about the finances in the relationship. That a man owns all of that and should manage all of that, and a woman shouldn't even have to be concerned with it, that it should be all on the man. And when I was watching that, I was like, wow, bold take. All right, if you ever have X's and Y's questions you want to ask us, we'd be happy to include them in the segment. It's one of my favorite that we do. Let's take a quick break. The YouTube live chat poll question will get its answer from you, the audience, and your votes. Do you believe crimes of treason have been committed, yes or no? We'll be right back.
Yeah.
AirComfortService.com. Of course, I've talked to you about how Air Comfort Service has been in my home, has replaced our furnace, has replaced our air conditioners, replaced our water heater, has done an AeroSeal duct sealing on our home to make sure that the air is pushed through our whole home and isn't leaking out through all of the cracks and the creases in the ventilation that is 25 years old or whatever. They've done a lot for us residentially. But if you're a place of business, if you own a business, if you're an office manager and you know that there is an HVAC concern, you're going to want to call Air Comfort Service, the best in the business here in St. Louis, to give it a look and see what your HVAC system circumstances are. Call them at 314-513-0091. That's 314-513-0091. and discuss with them what your concern is and invite them out. They'll give you a free second opinion on commercial repairs as well. 314-513-0091. Call Air Comfort Service and always ask them about rebates and carrier cool cash that might be available to bring the cost down for you a bit. aircomfortservice.com.
Join us October 23rd at Lit Cigar Lounge and celebrate 25 years with drinks from Lore Wine and Spirits, Old Dominic Distillery, and Rayburn Wines, plus live music by Pretty Weeds and food from Napoli Bros. Reservations at 971talk.com. Presented by Rhino Shield and U.S. Men's Medical Center.
Have you been notified that your subsidy for Obamacare health insurance is going away? Well, you can leave now while you are still healthy and can qualify for much better individual plans. Greg Hammonds at greghammonds.com has been helping people get affordable health insurance with great coverage for over 35 years. Greg offers private health insurance plans that are not on the ACA marketplace. You can pick your doctors. For most claims, you won't even pay a deductible, and they're 30 to 60% lower cost than Obamacare. One more thing, there's no tax penalty at the end of the year. Greg even has plans that are guaranteed acceptance. If you pay for your own health insurance, you're uninsured, you're on COBRA, or your employer coverage is just too expensive, call Greg at 314-794-7784. That's 314-794-7784. Or go to greghammonds.com. That's greghammonds.com. He can custom design a plan by you, not the government.
Get this, 42% of baby boomers don't even know how much money they have in their nest egg. If you're not sure where you stand in terms of getting ready for retirement, you should be listening to the All Financial Hour with Steve All.
Let's sit down and talk about your questions, because I think that's the most important thing that it is out there. It's what questions do you have?
Tune in to the All Financial Hour with Steve All, Saturday mornings at 6, right here on 97.1 FM Talk.
Software Engineer Manager for Equifax Inc. in St. Louis, Missouri. Multiple positions available. To lead an engineering team focused on building and delivering scalable applications and services in the data and analytics space. Requires bachelor's degree in computer science, information technology, engineering, or related field, plus 7 years of experience as a software engineer manager or related occupation in software development. Or, alternatively, a master's degree in computer science, information technology, engineering, or related field, plus 5 years of experience as a software engineer manager or related occupation in software development. Email resume to jobs.opportunities@equifax.com. Reference position number 500444. Again, Software Engineer Manager for Equifax Inc. in St. Louis, Missouri. Email resume to jobs.opportunities@equifax.com. Reference position number 500444.
Hey guys, Glover here with my very, very good friend, Dr. Kathy Maupin at BioBalanceHealth.com. If you have reached that certain age and you're just not feeling very well and nothing's working the way it used to work, go see Dr. Kathy. She is not only a medical doctor, she is a patient of this bioidentical hormone replacement therapy. It absolutely works. It's a long-term solution. She is an artist when it comes to helping you with your hormones. BioBalanceHealth.com for Dr. Kathy Maupin.
Annie Fry, Ryan Wiggins, Brad Range. It's the Annie Fry Show.
Welcome back to the Annie Fry Show. We appreciate you being with us this afternoon. If you didn't get to hear Josh Hawley, Senator Hawley's, I don't know, was it questioning? It's a Judiciary Committee hearing with Pam Bondi and present earlier today. And you know how these things go. The Democrats lob things towards the person they're questioning when they disagree with them and put them on the spot, ask them questions, interrupt their answers, and then take their time back. Josh Hawley just took a moment to be like, let's talk about the weaponization of government against Republicans, and he laid it out. We covered it in the first segment of the 2 o'clock hour. You can watch it on the Annie Fry YouTube channel, but you can also go back and listen to it on the Annie Fry Show podcast. The YouTube live chat poll, Ryan, you go first. Do you believe crimes of treason have been committed, yes or no?
Not only am I a yes, I believe that they are provable and they will be proved and will result in prosecution.
Brad?
I think something happened. I don't know if it's treason, But yeah, something bad happened, so I'll say yes.
Yes, and I'm with you. Do you think, how long until we find out?
Now. I mean, we're right in the
We're
middle
in
of
it.
Yeah.
Yes, I think the first domino has fallen, and I think the right people have a sense of clarity, of purpose right now in our investigative departments and our judicial departments, that we are absolutely going to get the answers to these questions, and I am here for all of it. Do you believe crimes of treason have been committed? We asked you on the poll. 93% of you said yes. Mark Reardon on 97.1 FM Talk next.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6986. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6986. That's 800-575-6986. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Home Shield Foundation Repairs.com. Matt Hayes is the owner of this locally family-owned business, and you'll be talking to Matt Hayes about your basement and the wetness that exists in there. Yesterday, we featured the word moist. I'm only going to say it that one time, but if you have a basement that is, I can't say, I'm going to say it one time and then not say it again. A wet basement, you want to have someone who can come in and handle that situation based on the needs of your basement. You invite Home Shield Foundation Repair over. They can look at your basement and determine what those specific needs are. They've got a lot of different ways that they can solve that. They can address drain tile installation. Maybe you need sump pump integration. Home Shield Foundation Repair, they want to solve your problem, and they want to do it in a way that's going to make you the next person to recommend Home Shield Foundation Repair. 314-227-9636. Call 314-227-9636 and mention the Annie Fry Show when you do. Find them online at HomeshieldFoundationRepairs.com.
Hey, it's Mark Reardon for Generator Supercenter of St. Louis. And you know, your home is your sanctuary. You need to take the first step to peace of mind with a free estimate on a